Win or go home from Lowell Park as it's Game 3 of the West Division Finals between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers here on the Kettleers Digital Network. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt. And Joe, it's been a wild series with a lot of crazy turns, and especially last night, tempers flaring, but that's exactly what you want in a playoff series.
Yeah, you want to see a little bit of animosity, and that's exactly what we got last night. It was somebody from the Bourne dugout on the third base side who was chirping Mike Roberts for a mound visit made by Scott Lander, saying, hey, that's how you get it done. Mike Roberts didn't quite like that statement. It drew a crowd in front of the Bourne dugout last night where some of the coaches for the Kettleers and on the Bourne side were involved, were issued warnings, and then they had to settle back into that game, play the rest of the 4 frames there, and it was all Bourne as they got 5 runs after the 6th inning in that game, more than enough to win it 7-4.
That they did. Cotuit won Game 1 here at Lowell Park with a 3-2 victory. They scored a run in the first inning, 2 in the 4th, en route to a 3-2 victory, but it was a different story just a night ago at Bourne Park, where Bourne jumped out to a 2-0 advantage. It was a 2-run shot by Brandon Compton to even the score at 2-2 in the 5th, and just like you mentioned, Joe, 5 runs after the 6th inning for the Bourne Braves. That led them to a 7-4 victory, and that leads us to today. Game 3, Bryce McKnight getting the ball for Cotuit, Joe Ariola getting the ball for Bourne. Should be another excellent matchup.
Yeah, should be another great matchup. I mean, Joe Ariola is a guy who is a high strikeout thrower. I mean, when you take a look at his last few years as a college baseball pitcher, he has had a insurmountable strikeout total compared to his walks, but this summer has struggled a little bit more with the walks, which he hasn't since last summer when he was playing in the Coastal Plains League, where he walked 24 batters, struck out 22. Has improved a bit against Woodbats here this time around, and 28 Ks, 15 walks across 23 innings. So if there's a way that you can get at Joe Ariola, it's by working walks, working the counts, and continuing to put the ball in play.
And this is a Bourne team, like we've talked about all series long, that finds ways to win. They did that last night, but that's something they've done dating all the way back to 2021, and especially in elimination games. They're 8-1 since 2021 in elimination games.
And the Kettleers saw that in 2021. They also saw that last year in 2022, where they only won 1 game out of the 5 in the playoffs. So far it's 1-1 this series, but this is a Bourne team who is heating up just as they did at the end of 2022 and 2023, and even 2021 as well, where they unfortunately for their sake lost in the CCBL Championship to Brewster, but then winning 2 in a row after that. And it's a team that has gotten hot at the perfect time. They were the #1 team with the lowest ERA, the highest batting average throughout the last 10 games of the regular season, and we've seen more of that in the first few games here. Only 9 runs scored for them so far this series, but it was enough to win it last night, and 2 runs for them in Game 1 is just super uncharacteristic for this Bourne team. So if you're going to want to beat them, you're going to need to get the offense going.
9 runs for Bourne, just 7 runs for Cotuit over these 2 games, and I like the point that you bring up about the Kettleer offense. They've had 21 hits this postseason, and 15 have come from just 3 players.
Yeah, I mean, it's this time of year where you're really going to need to rely on your dogs. They've done that, but it's just not been the production that you would have liked to see from other guys in the lineup, like Timo Becerra, like Luke Hansen, who are both swinging really hot bats in the last week of the season, both with 4-game hitting streaks to end off their year, but they have fallen on hard times lately. Those 2 still looking for their first playoff hits. Grant Jay, you'd also like to see him wake up with the bat at the plate, but this is a lineup that has been really strong throughout the entire season from 1 through 9. We've seen it struggle at times with some inconsistency, and those issues have plagued the Kettleers in the past 2 games.
Jaron Advincula, Brandon Compton, and Charles Davalon have combined for 15 of the 21 base hits for Cotuit this postseason, and 2 of Cotuit's best hitters, Tanner Thatch, Devin Taylor, just to combine 1 for 21 with 8 strikeouts this postseason.
And these are guys who you know can put in great at-bats at the plate, both left-handed hitters, so it's going to be super important against Joe Ariola for them to just put the ball in play. I mean, when you take a look back at the last couple of games between these 2 teams, the winning team has gotten double-digit strikeouts in every single one of those games. And so for Tanner Thatch, Devin Taylor, they just need to go back to what they were doing so well during the regular season, which is working counts all the way up, working them full. I mean, when you take a look at the amount of guys who have worked full counts this summer, those 2 are in the top 3 on this entire team, and they're guys who can work a lot of walks, not just hit the ball for power and in play, but see it really well. So just to not strike out against Ariola is the biggest thing tonight.
And on the flip side, for Cotuit, we talked about the offensive woes so far in the playoffs, but now we have to dive into the pitching matchup. You already hit on Joe Arriola, but getting the ball for Cotuit today, Bryce McKnight, who made just one appearance in the regular season. That came in the last game of the year against this same Bourne Brave squad.
Yeah, picked up 3 strikeouts, 2 quick strikeouts to start that top of the 8th inning, but then he allowed 3 straight base runners on a double, a hit by pitch, and a walk. So for him, just to be able to complete innings and work deeper into this appearance for him, that's going to be super important. He's a guy who didn't have too much time on the mound this past season at the University of Arizona. He only went 3 1/3 innings, gave up 9 earned runs, walked 2, struck out 4. So it was an incredibly small sample size for him, so he was able to get some more time on the bump in the NECBL to start off his summer. But he's looking to make a big difference here today for the Kettleers as the Game 3 starter.
That he did. He pitched with the Ocean State Waves earlier this summer. He had a 1-2 record, a 5.27 ERA in 27 1/3 innings pitched, walking 18 hitters and striking out 20. But Mike Roberts turns to the new guy to get the ball here in Game 3 as Scott Landers meeting at home plate with the home plate umpires. Mike Roberts taking his time, strolling over to home plate, and saw tempers flare between the two of them last night, but just 2 minutes after they were pointing fingers in each other's face, it was like they were best friends again.
Yeah, it's like it never happened. I mean, these are two guys who know the ebbs and flows of the game. They understand the game incredibly well, and for Mike Roberts, he's had a ton of experience. Scott Landers hasn't been around Bourne as long as Mike Roberts has been in Cotuit, of course, but he has had so much success in his early years here with Bourne. Obviously, the 2 championships, looking for a 3rd straight this summer, and they have a big chance to do that tonight. But you like to see the tempers flaring a little bit. You like to see these teams play for maybe something a bit more meaningful than baseball, and it seems like that's kind of been the case. But for the Kettleers, you just need to get some juice from that dugout. You saw it a lot in Game 1, didn't see it as much last night. Bourne seemingly had all the juice last night, and you're going to need to flip the script tonight to have a chance at winning this game.
And that's what Mike Roberts said after last night's game. He said, quote, "It'll be intense, but intensity is fine. But you got to relax and play well. You have to feel prepared in every situation. That's the key to winning a championship, in especially this type of environment and atmosphere." And, well, Cotuit looking to get back to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship for the first time since 2019. And for Bourne, they're looking to capture a 3-peat.
It'd be the 4th team to get 3 CCBL championships in a row. That's what they're looking to do, playing their best baseball right now. And you already brought up that great stat, 8-1 in elimination games since 2021, their last 9 contests. They've also owned a postseason record against the Kettleers of 7-2 since 2014. So not only are the Kettleers looking to get back in the championship for the first time since 2019, they're also looking to beat Bourne in the postseason for the first time in 10 years.
Cotuit looking to exercise their demons against the Bourne Braves. And Joe, in your opinion, what is the biggest key for Cotuit to reaching the championship?
Well, I'll give a little double-barreled key for this one. Throwing strikes pitching-wise, but also getting on the board early. I mean, when you take a look at the last 15 times these two teams have played, the winning team has scored the first run of the game 13 out of those 15 times. That held true last night. That held true in Game 1. So you could believe that might hold true here today. But a great start where Bryce McKnight is throwing a lot of strikes, not giving up too many free base runners. That flag in left center field is blowing straight away towards the trees. So you could see a couple of long balls here in today's game. And the Kettleers have relied on the long ball a lot this summer. They're going to have to do more of that today.
The key for me is let your stars shine, and we haven't really said that a lot for Cotuit this postseason. Tanner Thatch, Devin Taylor, a combined 1 for 21. They're going to need a big boost from the 3 men in Cotuit's order, and Devin Taylor, who's hitting in the 6th spot today. But that'll do it here on the Kettleers starting 9. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break, but after this, we'll have lineups, first pitch, and baseball here from Lowell Park.
Recently performed in Lowell Park at the Cotuit Kettleers this past May. It is now teaching music at the Cape Playhouse Theater School. In addition, the family has been housing Kettleer players for 12 years, currently hosting pitchers Zach Lennis and Bryce McKnight. Ladies and gentlemen, the birthday girl, Pauline Alex. here at Lowell Park.
The spotlight couldn't be any brighter here on Lowell Park. The only game of the day between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers, as it's win or go home with a trip to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship on the line to square off against the Harwich Mariners, who punched their ticket last night with a 2-0 sweep of the YD Red Sox. Bourne looking to make it back to their fourth consecutive Cape Cod Baseball League title. For Cotuit, they're looking to make the big dance for the first time since 2019. And Joe, just a couple of moments away from first pitch, why don't you run us through how Bourne lines up?
Yeah, let's take a look at that lineup for Scott Lander's Braves. It'll be the top two guys that we've seen in the last two games that have combined for so much damage so far in this series. Ethan Conrad leading off, playing in right field. Merrick Houston batting second at shortstop. Conrad 4 for 9 in this series. Houston 5 for 8 in this series. Braden Holcomb has struggled in the series so far, 0 for 6, but he bats third and plays at third. Tristan Becerra, the cleanup man, playing in left. David Lewis, the first baseman, bats fifth. Chase Meggers back behind the dish for the second straight game. He bats sixth. Blake Barthel, the 7-man, plays at second base. Isaiah Jackson gets his first start this series. He's the designated hitter. And Chris Stanfield, his fourth straight start for the Braves in the 9 spot. And he is playing in straightaway center field. Pitching today for the Braves, it'll be Joe Areola, left-handed pitcher.
Getting the start for Cotuit is Bryce McKnight. Tosses his final warm-up pitch, a strike down from the catcher, Grant Jay, starting in back-to-back playoff games. After sitting in the opening two, the first game against Wareham, the first game against Bourne. The Cotuit faithful showing out for the winner-go-home Game 3 between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers. Ethan Conrad, he's the leadoff man. He's set to dig in. Bryce McKnight stands on the mound. Conrad is ready. McKnight is ready. The first pitch is shot the other way. Deep to left field. Going back is Brandon Compton. Looking up at the track. And that ball will fall as Ethan Conrad continues his hot hitting postseason. Jumps on the first pitch from Bryce McKnight. Sends it a long way to left field as that ball drops down for a one-pitch double to begin the game.
And that ball nearly sailing out of here off the bat of Ethan Conrad. And how about the start for him? Not only does he have his third double in this series, as the leadoff man, he's gotten a hit in every single first inning of this series. 2 doubles, now a single. And he's 3 for 3 in that spot. Just a great start for Bourne with the bats.
Conrad now 6 for 15 this postseason, as that brings up the hot-hitting shortstop Merrick Houston, who swings at the first pitch, hits it down the right field line. Giving it a long run is Nathan Hall, who slides but can't haul in that foul ball. Taking a look at how Cotuit aligns defensively. Brandon Compton, he starts in left. Charles Davalon plays in center. Nathan Hall starts in right field. From third to first for the Kettleers, Timo Becerra mans the hot corner. Luke Hansen back at shortstop. Jaron Advincula plays second. Tanner Thatch is at first base. And behind the dish for Mike Roberts' squad is Grant J. The 0-1 to Houston on the inside corner, laid off to even the count at 1-1. Against Merrick Houston, who in this series has been on a tear against Cotuit. 5 for 8 with 2 RBIs, went 3 for 5 last night in a Game 2 victory for the Braves. McKnight looks back at Conrad, now comes home with the 1-1. This one spiked in the dirt, gets away from Jay. Breaking for third is Conrad. There's no throw as the ball got away from Jay. Advancing up 90 feet is Ethan Conrad. As just 2 batters into the game, Bourne has a runner on third. It's been situations like these where Merrick Houston has shined all year long. For Bourne, hit .391 with runners in scoring position during the regular season. Goes the other way, hits it into short right field. Camping underneath it is Nathan Hall. Tagging from third is Conrad. The throw on the money, staying put at third is Conrad. So an excellent throw from Nathan Hall in right field keeps Ethan Conrad at bay just 90 feet away.
Well, that's a great response from Bryce McKnight. Draws some weak contact. Merrick Houston not enough to drive that runner in from third. Could have maybe sent him, but obviously with no outs in the inning, you don't want to get doubled up in the first here. So still an opportunity for Bourne to tack on their first run of the game.
And it's been the team who has scored first in the series that have won the games. Cotuit struck first in the first inning in Game 1. They won 3-2. Yesterday, Bourne scored 2 runs in the third inning. They captured the 7-4 victory to tie this series up at 1 apiece. The count is 0-1 against Braden Holcomb, who has struggled against Cotuit this series. They're going 6 for 14 against Cotuit during the regular season. This pitch gets away. Breaking for home is Conrad, and Bourne strikes first. It was a ball that was in the opposite batter's box of the righty Braden Holcomb, kicked off the glove of Jay. Conrad was breaking home, and the Braves strike first.
That's a tough way to give up your first run, but the Kettleers were able to take advantage of a couple of misplayed balls behind the plate in Game 1. They drove in 2 on a wild pitch and on a pass ball, and that brings home the first run of the game for Bourne.
So the count evened up at 1-1 with the bases cleared off. The second offering to Holcomb laid off low and outside. Against the Bourne third baseman, who's 0 for 6 this series, has reached on 3 walks, struck out once. Just 1 for 10 this postseason. The 2-1 on the way. This one chopped on the ground down the third base line, but foul. Holcomb hit that ball hard. Timo Becerra gloved it down that third base line, but it was foul to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Heck of a grab from Becerra, though. Ranging all the way over the line. Looked like he wouldn't have a chance on that ball if it was tucked down the line in fair territory, but he was still able to glove it.
Bryce McKnight making his first start as a Kettleer. Just his second appearance. The 2-2 pitch on the way in the dirt, kept in front by Jay. As the count runs full to the third batter in the ballgame. McKnight had a 1-2 record earlier this summer with the Ocean State Waves in the NECBL. At a 5.27 ERA, making 7 appearances, started 5 games. The payoff pitch on the way. Foul tipped, and Grant J goes down in a heap.
Tough to tell where that caught Jay. Might be better not to try to speculate, but just an uncomfortable spot to get hit.
Jay went down in a lot of pain, still wincing, trying to walk off that foul ball by Braden Holcomb.
Yeah, he just needs to walk this one off. No trainer necessary. Mike Roberts, a former catcher, surely feels his pain a little bit. Just making sure his catcher is okay. But we know that Matt Klein has had a lot of opportunities for the Kettleers this summer, and maybe too many opportunities as he's been taking a beating behind home plate. They only have 2 catchers on this roster. They've only had 2 catchers on the roster pretty much since the 4th of July, a little after that. after July 10th, but yeah, Jay clearly in some discomfort. These guys have worked really hard all summer. They've been alternating behind the dish. We saw Matt Klein take a lot of the catching duties in the last week of the season before Grant Jay caught the last 2 games, and now back-to-back nights where he's catching for Cotuit. And obviously with the game finishing up at 9 p.m. last night, I know it's not a huge difference, but you're also having to get ready and focus up for a 4 p.m. start today. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. Not that they're not used to it from the college season, but just to go out there and have an opportunity to catch each and every day. And that's something that these guys have taken advantage of. And it's not the delay that you want. There's already 1 run in for the Braves, so this could potentially hinder some momentum that they're trying to build. But it looks like Grant Jay will be fine, and he'll stay in this game.
So Jay will shake it off. The count remains full. Cotuit just with 2 catchers on the roster, like you mentioned. Matt Klein getting the day off. Grant Jay starting behind the dish in back-to-back games. And it's been the Grant Jay and Matt Klein show ever since July 10th. As the payoff pitch on the way, fouled out of play by Holcomb. Cannon Peebles played just 4 games this summer with Cotuit, a second-year member of the Kettleers. Brooks Bryan played sparingly. Returned from Team USA, played in just 2 games. But ever since July 10th, it's been Grant Jay and Matt Klein behind the dish for Mike Roberts' squad. The payoff pitch on the way, fouled off the leg of Holcomb as he tries to shake it off right off that front foot. So he's walking it off in a bit of pain and kicks that baseball.
Yeah, Stinger. Looks like he can barely even feel his left foot. Doesn't have that ankle guard, as you can see. It's been a hazardous home plate circle here in the first inning.
That it has, and 8 pitches so far in the at-bat between Bryce McKnight and Braden Holcomb. McKnight with the red glove at his belt, kicks and deals the 3-2 pitch on the outside corner, taken for ball 4. It's a 9-pitch walk for Braden Holcomb as he reaches with 1 gone in the inning, and that'll bring up Tristan Becerra.
Well, that's just a great at-bat for Braden Holcomb, who had some success against the Kettleers during the regular season. 5 driven in, was 6 for 14. So far 1 for 9 this playoffs and 0 for 6 against Cotuit in the postseason. But that's his 4th walk against Kettleers pitching.
A pickoff move, Holcomb dirties up the blue jersey, gray pants for Bourne. Another player who struggled against Cotuit this season, Tristan Becerra, 2 for 13, 0 for 5. Here in the playoffs, was 0 for 4 in Game 1, was used as a pinch hitter last night. As it's a first pitch strike from McKnight against the left-handed hitting Becerra, who hit .267 in 16 games during the regular season with Bourne. Led the team in home runs with 4, driving in 11 runs. The Braves are ready with 1 here in the first. Ethan Conrad came in to score off a wild pitch. The second offering taken outside against the lefty. That evens the count at 1-1. Becerra had a 12-game on-base streak entering this series, but it's been snapped after back-to-back games of not reaching base. As McKnight pulls the strings, the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 1 gone in the inning, Braden Holcomb leading off first. Becerra just 2 for 9 this postseason. One of those 2 hits a double. The 1-2 pitch on the way. This one served in a left field. Brandon Compton backing up. Will camp underneath it, make the grab for the second out, as there's 2 outs here in the first as Braden Holcomb retreats back to the first base bag.
Yeah, even though the pitching count is running up for Bryce McKnight, still able to get an important second out of the inning. Of course, the runner's still on first base, and it's David Lewis at the plate, who had a productive day last night. Went 1 for 2 with an RBI single late in that ball game. That was in the 6th frame, part of a 2-run 6th inning. That was a 3-run 6th inning that really ended up being the difference.
That was an inning that Zach Dueñas started for Cotuit. Ran into some issues with the mound. trying to get some dirt off of his cleats, but struggled with his control, tossing 17 pitches, just 5 strikes. As the runner breaking for second, this one hit in the left center field alleyway. A blooping ball, Charles Davalon on the run, making the grab for the 3rd out. Davalon had to cover a lot of ground, moving his way into the left center field gap and making the running grab for the 3rd and final out here in the top of the 1st, but not before Bourne strikes first. After a leadoff double by Ethan Conrad, he advanced to 3rd on a wild pitch and plated the first Bourne run off of a wild pitch by the Kettleers starter Bryce McKnight. As we head to the bottom of the 1st, with Bourne leading Cotuit 1-0 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
An excellent start for Scott Lander's Bourne Braves as Ethan Conrad took him just 1 pitch, hit a leadoff double, advanced to 3rd on a wild pitch, came home on a wild pitch as Bourne leading Cotuit 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 1st. And Joe, why don't you run us through how Cotuit lines up?
Yeah, some changes in the lineup today. Roberts trying to manufacture some offense by switching things up. It'll be Brandon Compton, the left fielder, Jaron Advincula batting second, Tanner Thatch in the 3 spot for the 4th straight game, then Nathan Hall, Charles Davalon, Devin Taylor at 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, and 9, Timo Becerra, Grant J., and Luke Hansen.
That's the Kettleer lineup that'll square off against the left-handed pitching Joe Areola. Making his first appearance this postseason, working against the left-handed hitting left fielder Brandon Compton, who was tested early in this ball game with Ethan Conrad hitting a double to deep left field. As it's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Areola that's looked at for strike 1. Compton's been on a tear this postseason, leading Cotuit in hitting with a .500 batting average, but 2 quick strikes from Areola has Compton behind on the count 0-2. Compton's 5 for 8 in this series against Bourne. Jacked a 2-run home run last night to even the score at 2-2 in the 5th inning. Count is 1-2 after Areola's 94-mile-an-hour fastball missed off the plate. Areola made 4 starts during the regular season for Bourne as the 1-2 pitch chopped on the ground to the second baseman Barthel, who bobbles that ball, and there will be no throw. It's an easy ground ball to Blake Barthel, who picked his head up, had that ball just bobble in and out of his glove, had a chance to make that throw, but decides not to throw it as Brandon Compton reaches to lead off the bottom of the 1st.
Well, the Kettleers had no errors in the playoffs going into the 7th inning last night, over 20 innings without an error, and now that's Bourne's first error of this playoff run. Yeah, it looked like a routine play at second for Blake Barthel, who gets his first start since Game 1, and let's see if Cotuit can take advantage.
Now that brings up Jaron Advincula, who's been hitting at the bottom of the order for most of this year, inserted into the 2 spot. Switching with Devin Taylor, who now bats 6th. The count is 0-1 at Advincula, who's got a hit in all 3 postseason games, was 3 for 4 against Wareham, 2 for 3 in game 1 and 1 for 3 last night. As he goes the other way, that'll bloop down in front of Tristan Becerra in left field as Jaron Advincula records the first Kettleer base knock. And with 2 batters, Cotuit has 2 runners on.
Getting it done just as Jaron Advincula has done all summer long. Drives that one into the left field grass, and it's his 4th hit against Bourne so far this series, his 7th hit of this playoff run. And now Tanner Thatch in a big spot.
So it's the Cotuit first baseman, Tanner Thatch, as this one rocketed right to Houston at shortstop, who gloves it. Attempted the flip, but Compton scampers back to the bag, as that's back-to-back hardline drives by Tanner Thatch that have found the glove of Merrick Houston.
Yeah, that's right. It was a scorching line drive at the end of last night's game where Houston swatted that one down, robbing Tanner Thatch of a base hit. Would have been a huge chance for the Kettleers to get 2 base runners on in that 9th inning, but it ended up being the second out of that frame.
Digging in is the right fielder Nathan Hall, who's 2 for 11 this postseason, 1 for 7 against Bourne. Swings at the first pitch, swats it foul. Take a look at how Bourne aligns defensively. Tristan Becerra mans left field. Starting in center is Chris Stanfield. Playing right field is Ethan Conrad, who's positioned well off the line against the right-handed hitting Hall. From third to first in the infield is Braden Holcomb, Merrick Houston, Blake Barthel, and David Lewis. As the 0-1 pitch taken outside to even the count at 1-1. Behind the dish for the second consecutive game is Chase Meggers. Compton leads off second, Advincula off first. Arriola takes a look back at Compton, has the glove set at his belt. The lefty deals the 1-1 high looping breaking ball that Hall lays off for ball 2.
Looked like the curveball there from Joe Arriola. Throws a curveball, cutter, splitter to go along with that fastball.
Nathan Hall started off this postseason with a bang. Hit a 3-run home run in his second at-bat to give Cotuit a 4-0 advantage over Wareham. In the West Division semifinals, Cotuit ended up winning that game 7-4 and advanced them to the West Division finals in a matchup with the Bourne Braves. The second consecutive season that Bourne and Cotuit have squared off in the playoffs. As the 2-2 on the way to Hall, this one shot on the ground to the first baseman. Lewis deflects off of his bag. No one is covering first as Nathan Hall reaches on an infield base knock as he goes the opposite way. So now the Cotuit Kettleers have the bases loaded with just 1 out.
Well, we talked about it. One of the keys to this game, swinging away, putting the ball in play, and that's exactly what they've done here in this first inning. Even though Tanner Thatch had his glove down, it's a great job by these Cotuit bats just to get on base in any way that they can, and it looks like that one's going to go down as an infield single for Nathan Hall, his 3rd hit of the playoffs.
Now that brings up the hot-hitting Charles Davlon. Had a multi-hit performance last night, now digs in. The bases loaded spot with just 1 gone in the inning. He's up in the count 1-0. Davlon this postseason, 4 for 11 with a home run and 2 RBIs. The 1-0 pitch waved on and missed. Off speed that was well out of the zone against the lefty to even the count at 1-1. Davlon in his first at-bat this postseason hit a home run to deep right field against Wareham. Was 2 for 4 last night with an RBI. The 1-1 pitch, this one chopped on the ground to Lewis. Goes home for 1. Compton is out. Davlon reaches as David Lewis cuts down Brandon Compton. So the score remains 1-0 as there's 2 gone in the inning.
Yeah, heads-up play there by David Lewis at first base. Perfect throw to home. All they need is to get the out there, the lead runner, and now they just need 1 more to get out of this inning.
Now it's Devin Taylor, who struggled all postseason long, still looking for his first base hit. 0 for 12 with 6 strikeouts is the slugger out of Indiana. Haven't seen Taylor struggle this much throughout the entire summer. During the regular season, played in 29 games where he hit .296, was 7 for his last 14 entering the playoffs. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt Meggers gloves it down as the runners stay put on the base paths. Advincula stands on third, Nathan Hall on second, Charles Davalon. He leads off first. Ariola kicks and deals the 2-0 pitch. That climbs the ladder. Taylor lays off as he's in the driver's seat up 3-0. Taylor has struggled against the Bourne Braves all season long. 3 for 23, striking out 10 times. The 3-0 pitch taken outside. Chase Meggers thought that was strike one, stood up, was going to fire that back, but it's an RBI 4-pitch walk for Devin Taylor. So Bourne scores one in the top half of the inning. Cotuit matches with one of their own.
Their 8th run all season, or all series, and boy, that's a huge run right there. Big at-bat for Devin Taylor. You mentioned he's kind of struggled at the plate this playoffs, hasn't reached until the second half of last night's game. It was with a walk and then a RBI fielder's choice, so some steps in the right direction for Devin Taylor.
Here's Timo Becerra, a high-looping breaking ball that catches the strike zone. So he falls behind in the count 0-1. Becerra, another guy who has struggled for the Kettleers this postseason, 1 for 10. That one hit coming last night. As this one goes off the mask of Meggers, he looks to be in a bit of discomfort.
And shakes it off immediately. He's ready to go. We saw that a couple of times last night. He even crashed into the base of the Kettleers dugout, chasing after a foul ball. It looks like he made contact with, or looked like he made contact with one of the poles with his head. And he just popped right back up. He's a warrior behind the plate for Bourne, and it's a big reason as to why he's back there in back-to-back games.
The home plate umpire, Mike Hinojosa, walks out to the mound and giving Chase Meggers some time to brush off that foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes. Hall breaking off third, now stops. As Ariola out of the windup, deals the 0-2 pitch to Becerra. This one shot foul down the right field line.
Well, this would be a huge base knock for Timo Becerra if he's able to get one. Had one last night going 1 for 4. Came around to score on Brandon Compton's homer. But this would be a huge opportunity for him to drive in a run. He's looking for his first RBI since game 40 of the regular season.
Becerra was 7 for 17 against Bourne during the regular season. The 0-2 pitch once more. This one chopped the other way. Gloved by Lewis, goes to second for 1. And that's the final out of the inning, but not before Cotuit loads the bases, and they score one off the RBI walk by Devin Taylor. As Bourne scores 1, Cotuit matches in the bottom half of the inning, so it's 1-1 after 1 here from Lowell Park on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
Bortolotti
The equation is simple. Win and you're off to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship to square off against the Harwich Mariners, who swept YD just a night ago. And Joe, what a Cinderella story, the Harwich Mariners.
It's amazing. I mean, 16 out of 17 games where they lost after the 4th of July, and they have limped their way into the playoffs, but they've been a problem in those first 3 games. 10-2 over YD, then 5-1 last night to advance to the championship, and that's just a gritty ball club that has earned everything they have gotten so far in this postseason. And they patiently await the winner of this game to find out where they're headed tomorrow.
Cotuit and Bourne tied at 1 apiece as Meggers blasts this one deep to right field, looking up his hole, but this ball is out of here. One pitch, one swing, one run. Chase Meggers leaves the yard as Bourne takes a 2-1 lead after a solo bomb by Chase Meggers to lead off the second.
Well, what a way to respond after having his 11-game hitting streak snapped last night. He went 0 for 3. Had a hit in every single game going into that game, and now has responded with his first home run of the summer to lead off the second.
That ball was crushed deep in the over the right field fence. So here's Blake Barthel. McKnight falls behind him 1-0. Meggers was a late addition to this Bourne squad. Played in 10 games during the regular season. Hit .342 as Barthel swats this one in the left center field alleyway. Compton's on his high horse. That ball drops down, kicks off the base of the wall. Barthel will motor his way into second as the Bourne bats are coming alive here in inning number 2. Meggers starts off the inning with a homer. Barthel follows him with a double.
Well, they dominated this regular season series with far less hits than the Kettleers, but 4 more extra base hits, and now already today with 15 in the season series when you include the regular season, and back-to-back extra base hits to start off the second. So as much as they struggled with the top half of this order, this is a lineup that is scary 1 through 9.
Here's the designated hitter, Isaiah Jackson. McKnight falls behind him. Barthel was 0 for 4 in Game 1 against Cotuit, struck out 2 times and has struggled against Kettleer pitching all year long, was 3 for 13 before that double. As Jackson rockets this one right to Advincula at second, gloves it. His throw in plenty of time to nab Jackson for the first out, but it goes down as a successful at-bat as Blake Barthel moves up to third and stands just 90 feet away of being the 3rd run for Bourne early on.
Good situational hitting there from Isaiah Jackson, knowing with the runner on second, you're going to want to pull the ball as a lefty. He does so perfectly, and now a chance to bring in their 3rd run of the game.
And here's Chris Stanfield as Cotuit brings the infield in. First offering nearly got away from Grant J. Chris Stanfield during this playoff run, 3 for 7 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Went 1 for 2 last night. Scored a run, also brought home a run. Blasted a 2-run home run in a 5-1 victory over Hyannis to advance to the West Division Finals as McKnight, struggling with his control, falls behind Stanfield 2-0. When asked after the game about his home run, he said, being here from the very beginning, I've seen everything. We've been through everything as a team, and to get into the playoffs, the goal is just to get in, and then ultimately, it's a new season. It felt great, and today I helped the team in a big way. Well, Stanfield has done that all year long, where he hit .252, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs, was 5th in the league with 14 stolen bases. As the 2-1 pitch, another slow chopper down the third base line to even the count at 2-2. Second-year member for Scott Lander's Bourne Braves. Played in just 9 games last summer, where he's 10 for 32. It's good for a .313 batting average. Also brought home 6 RBIs. The 2-2 on the way to McKnight goes through the legs of Grant J after it tipped off the bat of Stanfield. And that's a ball that Grant J usually has.
Yeah, he could have squeezed it and picked up a massive second out of this inning. Looked like it caught a bit more of the bat for Chris Stanfield than possibly we think. A tough play to make for Grant J.
1 gone in the inning. Blake Barthel stands on third. The 2-2 pitch again on the inside corner. Stanfield lays off and the count runs full.
Tough to tell where that one missed. That was a good pitch from Bryce McKnight. Front door breaking ball. Stanfield watching it all the way, but of course it's about where it crosses and not where it finishes.
Mike Hinojosa calling balls and strikes behind the dish today. The payoff pitch on the way from McKnight. Got him swinging. A huge second out for Bryce McKnight as he gets Chris Stanfield swing for his first strikeout on the day.
Not a high strikeout guy against the Kettleers this season, just his third K against Cotuit pitching. And now with that runner just 90 feet away, there was a left-hander warming up in the Kettleers bullpen during this inning. It was Max Martzoff. And now with a lefty-heavy top of the lineup, obviously with Ethan Conrad digging in, he's already notched a double against Bryce McKnight, so Mike Roberts will be hitting the bullpen for the first time today. Max Martzoff is the first man out in Game 3 as Bourne leads it 2-1. Martzoff going to try to keep it that way. Here from Lowell Park, Kettleers trailing by 1, Martzoff in. And we'll take a quick break here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation.
It's the lefty Max Martzoff into the game facing Ethan Conrad. Starts him out with a first pitch off-speed pitch laid off outside for ball 1. Martzoff making his second appearance this postseason. Pitched against Wareham in Game 1 and was out on the mound where he got a fly out to Brandon Compton in left field that sent Cotuit to the West Division Finals to square off against these Bourne Braves. Now looking for just one out and stranding Blake Barthel, who stands just 90 feet away on third. This one hit on the ground to the first baseman, Thatch. Breaking over to the bag is Martzoff. The flip is in time. A bang-bang play at the bag as Max Martzoff wins the foot race against Ethan Conrad as he comes out of the bullpen, throws just 3 pitches, and gets the 3-1 ground out to strand Blake Barthel just 90 feet away as we're through the first inning and a half from Lowell Park. Bourne leading Cotuit 2-1.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Joe Areola back out on the mound for his second inning of work, getting the start against Cotuit. And Joe, we were talking about it during the break, a promising sign for the Cold Kettleer bats. They had the bases loaded, did play to run on the RBI walk. As Grant J hits this one deep to center field, going back is Chris Stanfield at the fence, leaping up. That ball is gone. Grant J leaves the yard for the first time this postseason. That ball was crushed to the deepest part of the ballpark. Got a pitch right down the heart of the plate from Joe Areola as he didn't miss it to even the score at 2-2.
It's his fourth home run of the summer, his first home run since July 12th. Also his first extra base hit since then, and no better moment for Grant J to finally leave the yard, the deepest part of the ballpark. Stanfield got his glove on it, but he couldn't hold on, and the Kettleers have tied up this ball game.
Now it's Luke Hansen. The first offering is high as Grant J tells his counterpart Chase Meggers, anything you can do, I can do better, as they both leave the yard here in the second inning. As runs have come in bunches early on, there's been a run in every inning so far. As the score tied up at 2-2, and this is exactly what you want to see here in playoff baseball.
Hey, I mean, you knew that this could have happened today. I mean, a 3-2 game in the first game and then 7-4 last night, but it was close throughout. This has the makings of a high-scoring affair.
Luke Hansen up in the count, 2-1, the ninth man in the Cotuit order, getting the start at shortstop. The 2-1 on the way, waved on and missed to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Against Hansen, who started off the postseason 0 for 7, has walked 3 times, scored 2 runs, was 0 for 3 last night, walked once, scored once, struck out twice. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt, Hansen lays off and runs the count full. We've talked about the struggles for Grant J. Was 3 for 42 since July 7th to end the regular season. Picks up a big second hit of the postseason as Hansen thought it was ball 4, but he gets rung up on strikes. Pitch was down in the zone. Hansen was about to ditch the bat, but it's the first strikeout for Joe Areola as Hansen's retired for the first out.
Yeah, pair of Ks last night for Luke Hansen, still looking for his first postseason hit. Mentioned he was on a tear going into the postseason, but no hits in the last 4 games for Hansen.
The home run by Grant J traveled 396 feet, 98 miles an hour off the bat, deflected in and out of the glove of the center fielder Chris Stanfield as Brandon Compton hits a twisting foul ball down the hits a twisting ball into left field. Tristan Becerra makes the grab for the second out.
Yeah, one that Brandon Compton just fell underneath. Nice job by Joe Areola to get a pair of quick outs. I know Hansen worked the count up, but they're a quick one against Brandon Compton, likely the best hitter in this lineup right now, but tough to compete with the guy who's at the plate.
Jaron Advincula has been on a tear all postseason long. Waves out a pitch in the dirt, and not a swing that you see all too often by Advincula, a pitch that nearly skipped into the glove of Meggers. Advincula now 7 for 11 this postseason. Has a hit in all 4 games as this one deflects off the glove of Meggers, goes back to the backstop to even the count at 1-1. Advincula captured the batting title this season, beating out Ethan Conrad, who stands in right field. Advincula hit .392 in 38 games. As the 1-1, another breaking ball, Advincula twisting out of the way. It misses inside. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Kettleers second baseman had the 4th highest average in Cotuit history. The 14th best batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League. That ball is fair, and they're going to say that David Lewis stepped on the bag. Advincula hit that one right down the first base line. Lewis was coming in, toe taps, and puts the toe on the first base bag to capture the 3rd and final out here in the bottom of the 2nd, but not before Cotuit evens the score on a solo bomb by Grant Jay. A massive home run by Jay. He hit 3 in the regular season, picks up his 1st here in the postseason as Chase Meggers goes yard in the top half of the inning. Grant Jay matches him with 1 here in the 2nd as we're through 2 from Lowell Park. Bourne 2, Cotuit 2, and now we'll bring on the 3rd member of our team, Adele Huffman, who's at field level.
Thank you, Alex. Yes, it is win or go home here tonight at Cotuit, and the last time we got this far in the playoffs was 2019. So let's take a look back at some of the elimination rounds in the past few years. In 2021, YD had a 5-1 win. In 2022, Hyannis with a 15-5 win. And in 2023 with a 5-4 Braves win. And we're out here facing the Braves again tonight. But in 2019, we had that 10-3 win against Harwich. So there's something to be said about having your fans here, changing up the environment for your home team. And the question I have for you, Joe and Alex, is what makes today's matchup so different and so special against the Braves?
Thanks so much, Adele. Excellent work, as always. And to answer your question, what makes today so special is the people that are filling the crowd up here at Lowell Park. The home grandstand is filled on the 3rd base line. The visitors' grandstand is filled over at first. Fans littering the outfield. And this is exactly what you want in the postseason. The village coming out and supporting the Kettleers.
Yeah, it's playoff baseball in full force here in Cotuit. Fans loading up that home grandstand. You obviously love to see fans in their lawn chairs all around the outfield. So many people coming out to show their support for the Kettleers. Also a great road contingency as well for the Bourne Braves on the visitors' side. So this is just great playoff atmosphere to enjoy Game 3 of the West Division Championship. And a good one so far, 2-2 with runs in every single half inning so far, and Max Martzoff is back out there in the top of the 3rd for the Kets.
Bourne 2 runs on 3 hits and an error. Cotuit 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. As Max Martzoff returns to the mound, threw just 3 pitches and got a 3-1 ground out against the ever so dangerous Ethan Conrad to Shran Blake Barthel, just 90 feet away. The second offering to Houston, a towering fly ball hitting a straightaway center field. Charles Davalon moving over, getting underneath it and making the grab for the first out as Houston falls back to 0 for 2 on a pair of flyouts.
Every leadoff hitter in this game for Bourne so far has taken the ball deep. First it was Ethan Conrad in the first, bouncing one off the fence, and then the Chase Meggers home run in the 2nd inning. And now a deep fly ball there, not enough to leave the yard, but still enough to draw some attention to those first few pitches thrown to start off these innings for Cotuit.
Braden Holcomb digs in, looks at a first pitch strike against the lefty at the bottom of the zone. There's a couple of words for the home plate umpire, Mike Inahosa. Martzoff, the lefty, set at the belt, deals the 0-1 pitch, laid off down low to even the count at 1-1. Holcomb walked in his first at-bat, has walked 4 times in this series. He's 0 for 6, 4 walks and a strikeout. The 1-1 pitch, a twisting foul ball down the right field line as Martzoff makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Holcomb went on a tear in the month of July for Bourne, playing in 20 games, hitting .355, 22 hits, and 62 at-bats. The 1-2 pitch taken outside. Martzoff changing speeds. It doesn't result in the strike as the count evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. During that month of July, he hit 2 home runs, driving in 17 runs. also swiping 6 bags. The 2-2 pitch chopped on the ground to Becerra at third. Stabs it, fires in time for the second out. Nice play by Timo Becerra at the hot corner to keep that ball in front and deliver a strong throw to Tanner Thatch at first.
Third baseman man by Timo Becerra every playoff game so far. Played a lot of third base at Stanford as he didn't get too many opportunities as a shortstop. Obviously, when you're playing behind guys like Tommy Troy, who was here in Cotuit in 2022, went in the first round. Also Trevor Haskins, who played for the Kettleers. So he's made every single moment in the infield worth it for the Kettleers this summer.
We've seen the left side of the infield for Mike Roberts change over the course of the year. Started out Nolan Araki, Tyler Cerny. Both are still on the team, just used as vital depth options. Off the bench, Timo Becerra becoming the everyday third baseman. Luke Hansen manning shortstop. Count even at 1-1 against the left fielder Tristan Becerra, who flew out in his first at-bat. This one grounded hard. That'll get past the glove of Tanner Thatch after a diving attempt as Tristan Becerra reaches for the first time in this series against Cotuit with a 2-out base knock.
Thought we were about to have our first 3-up, 3-down inning of the day. Kettleers drawing just one of those last night after 5 in game 1. But these Bourne bats have really come alive in the past 2 games. Everybody's hitting, everybody's getting on base, and David Lewis looking to reach for the first time.
David Lewis made his playoff debut last night, went 1 for 2 with an RBI, also reached on a walk. Is 0 for 1 today with a fly out to Charles Davlon in center field. That ended the first inning. He's up in the count 1-0 against Max Martzoff. Working in his first full inning, coming out of the bullpen, relieving the starter Bryce McKnight. Went an inning and 2/3, allowing 3 hits, 2 runs, struck out a batter, walked 1, tossing 32 pitches, and that 1 strikeout, Joe, was massive. It was against Chris Stanfield, the last batter he faced. The 2-0 to Lewis. Breaking ball looked at right down the heart of the plate. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's an at-bat that we could overlook at the end of this ball game. It was a full count, 3-2, a pitch that was outside. Stanfield expanded his zone and came up empty.
The 2-1 waved on and missed as Lewis falls down to a knee in Adrian Beltre style. To even the count at 2-2. Martzoff made 3 appearances during the regular season, had a 2.25 ERA for Cotuit. The 2-2 on the way. Laid off for ball 3 as Lewis runs the count full with 2 gone in the inning. Tristan Becerra leads off first after his 2-out single into right field. Martzoff has the glove set at his belt, gets a sign from Jay, kicks and deals the payoff pitch. A high chopper to Becerra at third, fields it on a hop. His throw in time. Couple of nice plays by the Cotuit third baseman Timo Becerra with a high chopper. Attacked that baseball, delivered a strong throw in plenty of time to nab David Lewis for the third and final out here in the top of the third as Bourne and Cotuit still tied up at 2 apiece here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Calling 508-477-7100.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Bottom of the third here from Lowell Park. Bourne 2, Cotuit 2. As it's the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up against Joe Areola, who returns to the mound. After surrendering a solo bomb to Grant J at leadoff last inning. But after the home run, 1, 2, 3 against Luke Hansen, Brandon Compton, and Jaron Advincula. We'll have time on the play as Mike Hinojosa walking over to the Bourne dugout. Saying a couple of words to Scott Landers. Jared Saltalamacchia in the area.
Well, we have seen, not sure if this is what he was talking about, but some catchers complaining about Tanner Thatch crowding the plate a bit too much.
Seen it a couple of times this year as Thatch crushes this one deep to right field. Going back is Conrad. He will look up, and that ball is gone. What a way for Tanner Thatch to break out of his home run slump. Hadn't homered since July 17th against Orleans. As once again, Cotuit blasts their second home run. It's another leadoff bomb for the Kettleers as Tanner Thatch leaves the yard, and Cotuit takes a 3-2 lead.
Last inning, Grant J punishing the first pitch he saw to deep center. To start off the third, Tanner Thatch does the same. That one traveling 366 feet, 96 off of his bat, and what a way to pick up your 9th homer of the summer for the Cotuit team MVP.
Thatch was 1 for 9 coming into today, 1 for 10 after his line out to Maricuson at shortstop. Here's Nathan Hall with a hard line drive deep down the left field line and out of play.
A lot of game left, but this is the offensive showing that you really needed for the Kettleers. I mean, runs in the first 3 innings. You knew the Braves were going to come out hot, but they've been right with them every step of the way.
Next offering to Hall, another foul ball just to the right of the press box. The 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Joe Areola. Thatch had been held without an extra base hit since July 30th, where he doubled against Harwich. The count is 0-2 against Hall, who's 1 for 1, singled in the first inning. The 93-mile-an-hour heater misses beneath the knees of the Kettleer right fielder. Thatch during the regular season hit 8 home runs, had 25 RBIs, batting at a .275 clip, and that's the first home run this year for Tanner Thatch against left-handed pitching. Took him all the way until Game 3 of the West Division Finals, but it couldn't have come at a bigger moment.
A lot of times he crowds the plate. It looked like that time he wasn't crowding the plate as much. He got a breaking ball low and inside. Maybe that allowed him to turn on it a bit more and put it into the trees.
The 1-2 on the way. Hall another chopper down the third base line. Good battle brewing between Areola and Hall. Pair of foul balls, 3 in the at-bat. 5 pitches tossed. From the lefty, Joe Areola, who's gone 2 innings, struck out 1, given up 3 runs, 41 pitches, 27 strikes as he gets Nathan Hall down on strikes. The second strikeout for Areola today as Hall is down for the first out here in the third.
Yeah, improved to 3 for 12 across the playoffs, starting off with a single today, but now he's back to 3 for 13, his 6th strikeout of the playoffs. So you've seen some inconsistency at the plate from Nathan Hall, but you got to like the way he was swinging the bat in the last week of the season, know that he can barrel a lot of baseballs up, and it's only a matter of time for him.
Areola gave up just 1 home run during the regular season in 23 innings, has given up 2 in 3 innings today. Charles Davlon up for the second time. He's up in the count 1-0. Is 0 for 1, did reach on a ground out to David Lewis, who went home to chase Meggers to cut down Brandon Compton. This one hit. That'll get past the diving attempt of Blake Barthel in a right field as Charles Davlon reaches for the second time today as he improves to 1 for 2.
Another seeing eye single for Charles Davalon, his 5th of the postseason. That one just past Blake Barthel, and it's been a lot of those base knocks for Davalon. He's reached base on a couple of infield singles, and making a lot of plays with his legs is something that he does really well, and he's relied upon that seemingly each and every time he's been at the plate this season, other than that home run in game one of the playoffs.
Breaking ball starts out with a first pitch strike against the designated hitter, Devin Taylor. Taylor reached on a walk in his first at-bat, the second walk he's drawn this postseason. Davalon dancing off first, the 0-1 on the way to Taylor. Looked at for strike 2.
He's just seemed a little bit more uncomfortable up there than we're used to him seeing. Hasn't been working counts as much and has fallen behind just as he has here.
Arriola glances at Davalon. Takes his lead off first. Now looks back at Taylor. The 0-2 pitch high and into the glove of Meggers. Went out of the squat. It's the second appearance for Joe Arriola this season against Cotuit. Pitched in the first matchup on June 28th. Went an inning, gave up a hit, a run, walked 2, and struck out 3. Now they got Davalon on a rundown. The throw to second is in plenty of time. Nice pickoff move by Joe Arriola. A strong throw from David Lewis. And Charles Davalon is cut down on the base pass for the second out.
That's a great move from the lefty Arriola. Perfectly off the first base side. And Davalon was going all the way on the pitch. But just a nice move there from Arriola to pick up the second out.
So Arriola goes back into the windup, the 1-2 offering, got him swinging. Devin Taylor goes down on strikes for the first time today, as he's the third and final out here in the bottom of the third, but not before Tanner Thatch leaves the yard for the first time this postseason and gives Cotuit a 3-2 advantage after 3 from Lowell Park.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email
to be seen for a minor illness or injury. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise
RCA
meets
Electric
urgent
and
care
Generators
convenience
is
at our 6
dedicated to
urgent
helping
care
homeowners
centers,
and
which
building
are staffed by
contractors
board-certified ER
purchase,
providers
install,
and
and
located
maintain the
Cape Wide
ideal
from Falmouth
generator
to Orleans.
for their specific
Cape Cod
needs.
Healthcare Urgent
Since
Care is
being
open
founded by
daily and
Randy
offers a
Agnew in
cost-saving option
1990,
for
this
everything from sprains to
Barnstable-based family-run
stitches, with timely
business
treatment
has
in
grown
under
its
an hour for
reputation
most
by serving
patients.
all
View
of Cape
online
Cod,
wait times
the
at
South Shore, and the South Coast.
Urgent Care.
Get in
Cape
touch
Cod
today by
Healthcare
reaching
Urgent
out
Care.
to
Minor
RCA
emergencies,
at
major attention.
508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
With more
Woodman
power,
has been regarded as one of
performance,
Cape Cod's
comfort,
and New
and
England's
safety.
premier private
They are
clubs
ready
and
for
communities
every
for
job.
over 25
And we're
years.
ready with plenty of
Mike Roberts going to the bullpen once again, calling upon the right-handed reliever Aiden Hunter. Facing Bourne for the third time this year, starts out the catcher Chase Meggers with a first pitch breaking ball, looked at for strike 1. Meggers is 1 for 1 today, left the yard, back in the second inning. gave Bourne a 2-1 advantage. Since that moment, Cotuit has powered 2 home runs, a slow tapper to Advincula at second, the underhand flip in time to nab Neggers for the first out.
Well, that brings an end to the line for Max Martsolf and for Bryce McKnight. McKnight goes an inning and 2/3, gives up 2 earned, 3 hits, 1 walk and a strikeout. Martsolf gave up 1 hit. That was the only base runner he allowed in his inning and a third scoreless.
Martsolf doing a job in his second appearance this postseason. Came into the game in a tough spot with Blake Barthel leading off third, who's up for the second time here. He's up in the count 1-0. He was standing on third in the second inning. Martsolf squaring off against the leadoff hitter Ethan Conrad. Got him to ground out to Tanner Thatch at first base. Got a fly out of Merrick Houston, a ground out of Braden Holcomb, a single to Tristan Bissetta, and then ended the third inning with a ground out to Timo Becerra at third. The 1-1 to Barthel. High pop-up into the short outfield. Camping underneath it is Luke Hansen, who gloves it for the second out, and a good start to Aiden Hunter's appearance out of the pen.
His last appearance was against these Bourne Braves, where he gave up 6 earned runs in 2 innings, pair of homers. So a good start. That's really all you can ask for from Aiden Hunter right now. Efficiency out there, pitch into weak contact, and now Isaiah Jackson, who's looking for his first base hit in this series.
First offering to Jackson, taken high for ball 1. Hunter this year against Bourne has gone 4 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 7 runs, 3 home runs. This one grounded hard up the middle. That'll get down into center field. Another 2-out base knock for Bourne as Isaiah Jackson reaches. He's now 1 for 2 today.
It's his first hit of the postseason. Has started just 1 game. It was their game against Hyannis in a single game elimination round 1. He went 0 for 3 in that contest with a pair of Ks and a walk. Improves to 1 for 2 today, so 1 for 5 overall. And now another scary hitter in this lineup. Chris Stanfield digs in.
Here is Stanfield, who's 0 for 1. Struck out against Bryce McKnight. The lone strikeout in McKnight's start. A pickoff move. Jackson dives back in safely. That was a massive strikeout, though. Barthel was standing on third. Just 1 gone in the inning. McKnight fans Stanfield, and Mike Roberts goes to his bullpen as a slow tapper down the third base line is foul. Stanfield nearly robbed a home run in the second inning. Went off the glove on a solo bomb by Grant J. Jackson takes his lead off first. The righty deals the 0-1 pitch, waved on and missed as Stanfield falls behind on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Hunter looking to strand another base runner for Bourne as he comes set with the glove at his chest. Kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. This one low in the dirt, kept in front by Jay. Jackson staying put at first. Jackson swiped 4 bases in 25 games during the regular season. All 4 coming in the month of July. Has been thrown out 5 times. As the 1-2 from Hunter fouled out of play by Stanfield. Jackson was darting towards second and then stopped. Saw Bourne do that a couple of times last night, and it worked to their advantage as well as Chris Stanfield, who was faking stealing second. Luke Hansen was drawn away from his fielding spot at shortstop, and Ethan Conrad hit a ball right where the vacated hole is. Now Jackson taking off for second. Jay does not throw as Jackson moves up 90 feet into scoring position with the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tough one to field for Grant J. Unsure if that's going to go down as a wild pitch or a stolen base, but nonetheless, a chance with 2 gone to drive in another run and tie this game up.
Cotuit leading 3-2 here in the top of the 4th. Hunter takes a look back, now comes home. The 2-2 pitch, a slow tapper right to Tanner Thatch at first base, who gobbles it up, takes it to the bag himself for the 3 unassisted to end this top of the 4th. So Aiden Hunter comes out of the bullpen, gets a ground out of Chase Meggers, a pop-up of Blake Barthel. Does give up a 2-out single to Isaiah Jackson, but gets Chris Stanfield on the weak ground out as we're through the first 3.5 innings from Lowell Park. Cotuit still leading Bourne 3-2 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Timo Becerra leading things off here in the bottom of the 4th. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Cotuit. They've had success with those 3 hitters, with the man standing in the on-deck circle, Grant J. 1 for 1, has only seen 1 pitch, but it left the yard as it's a slow tapper right to David Lewis at first, who takes it to the bag himself for a 3 unassisted. So Becerra falls back to 0 for 2 today on a pair of groundouts.
1 pitch, 1 out for Joe Areola in the 4th inning. His last 2 pitches to start off frames both left the yard, so a step in the right direction for him.
Areola's last appearance came a week ago on August 2nd in a game against Hyannis, where he went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 run was earned. Walked a batter and struck out 4. Working in his 2nd appearance and first start against Cotuit this season. Falls behind Grant J, 1-0. First home run for Grant J this postseason, the second base knock, playing in his 2nd game this playoff. The count evened up at 1-1 to the Kettleer catcher. Was 1 for 4 last night with a single on a hard line drive into left field. The 1-1 on the way, waved on and missed by Jay as he falls back in the count 1-2. That was Grant J's first home run since July 12th in a win at Harwich. The 1-2 on the way. Dotted on the outside corner, taken for ball 2. Jay hit 2 home runs in 8 games in June. Was 4 for 23 with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Fell on hard times in the month of July as it's a slow tapper. Gloved by Areola. The underhand flip in plenty of time to nab Jay for the 2nd out. So back-to-back groundouts worked by Areola, working quickly through the 7 and 8 hitters in the Kettleer lineup.
And that was in a 3-day span for Grant J. June 18th against YD, he hit a home run, and then June 21st against Hyannis. And then having to wait all the way until July 12th, and that really wasn't too meaningful of a home run in that game. Also, the Kettleers were up 16-4 at the time, and it was 14-4, but that homer making it 16-4, and that was a meaningful home run, needless to say, back in the 2nd.
Jay struggled in the month of July, was 6 for 48 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Struck out 27 times. But has bounced back here in the postseason, now 2 for 6. Count evened up at 1-1 to the shortstop Luke Hansen, who's 0 for 1 today. Struck out looking in the 2nd. A first of 3 strikeouts for Joe Areola. The lefty deals, waved on and missed by Hansen as he falls behind in the count 1-2. Areola looking for his first 1-2-3 inning here today. has given up a run in all 3 innings so far. The 1-2 on the way, got him swinging. A good bounce back inning for Joe Areola as he goes 1-2-3 against the 7-8-9 hitters in the Kettleer order as we're through 4 from Lowell Park. Cotuit still maintaining their 1-run lead over the Bourne Braves, and once again we'll bring on our sideline reporter Adele Huffman, who's standing at field level.
Thanks, Alex. Let's talk about Jaron Advincula, someone leading the regular season with 51 hits, making Cotuit Kettleers history. Coming into playoffs with 6 hits already and a .392 batting average, Jaron is someone that you can really expect results from to keep his composure in the regular season and in the playoffs. But Joe and Alex, my question is, being moved around today, what does it mean to have such a versatile player where you can put early in the lineup, late in the lineup, but expect him to keep his composure and have results?
Thanks so much, Adele. And Jaron Advincula, like you mentioned, just a guy who has had so much success anywhere that you put him. He was inserted into the 2-hole for Mike Roberts, and in his first at-bat, laced a single into left field.
Yeah, he's a guy who has made a difference no matter where he's been in the lineup. We haven't seen him above 5th in the lineup. And yesterday, of course, moving up in the lineup to batting in that 5th spot. Was able to knock a base hit, went 1 for 3 overall in the game, but he's just a guy who it doesn't matter who's pitching out there. It doesn't matter lefty or righty. Doesn't matter if he's down 2 strikes, if he's up 3-0. He's going to be swinging away and likely making contact. He had a big strikeout in last night's game with runners on 2nd and 3rd, and that was just his 8th strikeout of the season. So it just shows you that he's a guy who's putting the ball in play each and every time he's out there, and something that we probably don't give enough love to is the great second base that he's also played too.
And he had just 1 error in the regular season on 138 attempts. That error happened in Game 39 of the regular season.
Yeah, it was a pop-up into shallow right field that they actually went back and changed too at the end of that game. It was originally ruled a single, one that he lost in the lights, but they went back and changed that one to an error. So it's not a conventional error on that one too.
The mental approach of Jaron Advincula has also been something that has been on display all year long as Ethan Conrad falls behind in the count 0-1 against Aiden Hunter. Talked about going into the playoffs and playing in these bright lights and the big moments. He said, it's just another game. I've been doing this all summer, and I'm going to continue to do it until we win this thing. There's obviously nerves to big-time games like this, but I believe in the work that I put in, and it's been working. And, well, Joe, it has been working. 7 for 12 this postseason with 2 RBIs as Conrad falls behind in the count 1-2. A beautiful off-speed pitch by Aiden Hunter.
It's a big outing for him. Struggled his last couple of times against Bourne. And now against the top of the lineup, really going to need to buckle down.
Hunter gave up 6 runs on 5 hits in his last outing. Just 5 days ago against the same Bourne Brave squad. The 2-2 pitch to Conrad. Slow tapper that's foul right in the on-deck circle as Merrick Houston has to evade the ball. Conrad is 1 for 2 today. Doubled on the first pitch that he saw back in the first inning. And grounded out to Tanner Thatch to end the second. As Max Martzoff came out of the bullpen, stranded Blake Barthel on third base as another foul ball right at the base of the Bourne dugout. Talked about Jaron Advincula. Well, the man who finished second for the batting title at the dish right here, Ethan Conrad, who hit .385 with Bourne this regular season. Another foul ball down the left field line. Conrad played in 29 games, had 42 hits and 109 at-bats, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, also stole 19 bases. As Hunter gets him down on strikes here, not an easy task to do, as Ethan Conrad fanned, and a big first out for Aiden Hunter.
Hard to even get this guy out, but to do it by way of the strikeout is even harder. It's his 3rd K of the playoffs, and during the regular season he did that 18 times in 29 games.
It's his 7th strikeout against Kettleer pitching, including the regular season and the postseason. Here is the shortstop, Merrick Houston, who's 0 for 2 after his 3-for-5 day last night. With a pair of flyouts, one to Nathan Hall in right field in the first inning, and flew out to Charles Davalon to lead things off in the third. He's up in the count 2-0. Hunter out of the windup, deals. Looked at for strike one. Houston during the playoffs, 5 for 12 with a pair of RBIs. 7 for 17 against the Kettleers this season. Breaking ball dropped in on the inside corner to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 8 multi-hit games this season for Merrick Houston. The 2-2 laid off on the outside corner of the Kettleer dugout. Thought it could have been strike 3. But Houston works the count full with 1 gone in the 5th. Cotuit holding on to the 3-2 advantage in Game 3 of the West Division Finals. Hard foul ball down the right field line. Cotuit took Game 1, 3-2 here at Lowell Park. Bourne answered with a 7-4 victory at Bourne Park just a night ago. The payoff pitch once more. Slow tapper foul down the third base line. The winner of this game will go on to square off against the Harwich Mariners, who completed the 2-game sweep of the YD Red Sox last night, winning 10-2 in Game 1 and 5-1 just a night ago. Hunter looking to retire Houston for the 3rd time today. The 3-2 pitch, this one lined in the right center field alleyway. That'll bloop down. Davalon racing over to cut that ball off. Houston scorching for second. He will slide in safely. It's a 1-out double for Merrick Houston, his first hit today, and Bourne has a runner in scoring position.
It's his 6th hit of the series, his 6th hit of the postseason after not getting one in his postseason debut against Hyannis, and continues to tear apart Cotuit pitching. Now 6 for 11 at the dish in this series. You couldn't keep him quiet for long. A fly out to right field and then to center field to start off his day, but now he finds a gap with 1 gone in the 5th.
And here's Braden Holcomb, still looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 1 today. Hunter starts him out with a first pitch strike on the outside corner to the Bourne third baseman. Walked at his first at-bat in the first, grounded out to Timo Becerra at third base in the 3rd. The 0-1 pitch from Hunter outside, laid off. As the count evened up at 1-1. Holcomb is 0 for 7, has walked 4 times, struck out once. Is 6 for 21 against Cotuit this season, including his 6 for 14 during the regular season. That ball nearly gets away from Jay, has to hop out of the squat. Hunter coming on relief for Max Martzoff, who went an inning in the 3rd, only gave up 1 hit, didn't walk or strike out a batter. The 2-1, waved on and missed to even the count at 2-2. Holcomb, one of the most dangerous hitters in the Bourne lineup, where he hit .333 in 36 games during the regular season, driving in 25 runs. That was good. We're going to be tied for 5th in the Cape Cod Baseball League in RBIs. Hunter glares back at Houston, now comes home. This one hit up the middle. Advincula plays it perfectly. His throw in plenty of time to nab Holcomb for the 2nd out. Advancing to 3rd is Houston. So there's 2 gone on the 5th, and Bourne has a runner just 90 feet away of evening the score at 3.
More good situational hitting from the Bourne Braves, but an even better job by Aiden Hunter to bring some weak contact to the table there and get a routine out for Jaron Advincula. As that is a big 2nd out in this 5th inning. 1 out away from escaping it, but also a runner looming 90 feet away.
And here's Tristan Becerra. The last time Becerra faced Aiden Hunter was a bomb to continue to pour things on against Cotuit in a game that the Kettleers lost 11-5. Cotuit was trailing 7-0 at one point, as it's another bouncing ball to Advincula at 2nd. Gloves it, high looping throw. In time, they got him at 1st. Excellent pitching by Aiden Hunter to work in and out of trouble. surrendering the one-out double to Marek Houston, but bouncing back with a pair of groundouts to Jaron Advincula at second base. As we're through 4.5 here on the Kettleers Digital Network, Cotuit still leading Bourne 3-2. And when we come back from this commercial break, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take you home on the play-by-play. Stay tuned for more excellent postseason baseball from Lowell Park. Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Each week, the Cape Cod
Cotuit with a 3-2 lead as we move into the bottom of the fifth frame, and the top of the lineup is coming up to bat against Joe Areola, the third rotation around the lineup today. As we welcome you back in for Game 3 of the West Division Championship Series. Cotuit and Bourne knotted up at 1. Bourne trying to become the 4th CCBL team to win a 3rd straight title. But this is just step 2 on their way to doing that, as Harwich awaits the winner of this game. The 1-0 to Brandon Compton is tipped in and out of the glove of Meggers, and he's back to 1-1. Brandon Compton reached in the first inning of this game on an error by the second baseman Blake Barthel. He was eventually caught down on a throw from the third baseman to home. Force play there to stop the first run from coming in to score. 1-1 to Compton, misses. But then Jaron Advincula was able to cash in on an RBI walk from Devin Taylor. That's how the first run was scored for the Kettleers. After that, it's been a pair of leadoff solo bombs in the second and third innings. Infield and outfield straight up. Next pitch. 2-2 to Compton. So we got 2 Arizona State Sun Devils making their way to the Village this summer. Actually 3 when you include Ben Jacobs. The next pitch to Compton misses low and outside. He's run it full, but we saw Kian Vu in the outfield for the Kettleers before he headed out in July. Brandon Compton making a home for himself in left field, and we really thought that it would be Kian Vu to have a massive impact on this team this summer, maybe a bit more so than Brandon Compton, but it has been all Compton this year. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice breaking ball from Joe Areola, and he has back-to-back swinging Ks.
Really has been all Brandon Compton, to your point, Joe. And Compton didn't have the success that you look at his numbers, and especially in the month of June, playing in 12 games, hit just 262, but it was that month of July where he hit 365, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, walked 17 times, and only struck out 12 times, and manning the everyday spot in left field. It's been exactly what Mike Roberts has asked for and more.
So from one All-Star to another at the top of this lineup, they have 3 in the top 3, with Jaron Advincula batting now. Compton, a reserve outfielder in the All-Star game, as Advincula rolls this one towards Barthel. On the run, tough play, but he made it. 4-3 put out to get Advincula. 6 up, 6 down for Joe Areola, and 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
It's a really nice play by Blake Barthel, tracking it. Had to run a long way to add the speedy Advincula, who was motoring his way down the first base line. Barthel covering a lot of ground at second for a huge second out.
Tanner Thatch, a leadoff home run his last time up in the 3rd inning, his 9th of the summer. First pitch, another big cut. He's down 0-1. 36 home runs this year for Tanner Thatch when you include his 27 hit at UNCW this season. Next pitch, he rolls it over to first. Simple play for Lewis. He'll walk that to the bag and make the out, as it's back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings for Joe Ariola and the Braves. Kettleers still leading 3-2 as we send it to the 6th here on the Kettleers Digital Network. But before then, it's time for Kettleers Trivia, brought to you by the Cotuit Library. This Cotuit Kettleer won a championship for Cotuit back in 2010. He hit a 2-run homer, a game-winning homer to advance to the title series after he hit just 105 across his first 29 regular season games with the Kettleers, but turning it on at the right time, playing alongside in every single playoff game with Mike Yastrzemski. He went in the second round of the 2011 MLB draft and has played 11 seasons with the Tigers, White Sox, Mets, and currently the Baltimore Orioles. So who is this major league catcher who played for the Kettleers in 2010? Go ahead and float your answers into the YouTube comment section. If you're listening on Huddle, we hope that you get this answer right. But that's going to do it here through 5 from Lowell Park. We send it to the top of the 6th frame here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash.
Back in the top of the 6th inning as the Cotuit offense has slowed down in the last 2 frames. Bourne hasn't skipped a beat. They have put a base runner on in each of the first 5 innings of this ball game. And now it'll be the right-handed swinging first baseman who digs in, launches this one into straightaway center field, and make it 6 innings in a row with a base knock for the Braves.
The third time in 6 innings where Bourne has put the leadoff man on, the first time that it hasn't gone for extra bases, but David Lewis, not wasting any time, got a pitch right down the heart of the plate and sent it right back where it came from into center field.
Now here's Chase Meggers. Went 0 for 3 last night, but is 1 for 2 today with a solo shot in the 2nd, the last run that the Braves have scored. But this is a good start for them in the 6th frame. Aiden Hunter keeping a close eye on David Lewis. But it'll be Chase Meggers, who didn't get any appearances against the Kettleers in the regular season. His first start against Cotuit came last night. First pitch from Hunter in there for strike 1. But Meggers is someone who enjoyed a great start to his Cape League campaign, reaching and going on an 11-game hitting streak to start off his summer with the Braves. Now the 0-1 pitch. Upstairs, 1-1. First game he hasn't reached this summer was last night, by way of a hit, I might say, because he did reach on a walk, did come around to score a run, struck out 2 times. Now he rolls this one foul and is behind in the count 1-2 on Aiden Hunter, who works into his 2nd appearance against the Braves in the last week and a half, but did make 2 appearances against the Braves at the end of last summer. One of those was in the playoffs, but a total of 2 2/3 innings in 2023 against the Braves. 1-2 to Meggers, misses low. Throwing in the last game of the regular season against Bourne, just as he did this summer, but on August 1st, 2023, went 1 inning, gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits. 2-2 to Meggers, rocketed past Tanner Thatch and into right field. Lewis thinking about third, but he'll put the brakes on there, and it's back-to-back singles to start off the 6th inning for Bourne.
Back-to-back bullets off the bat of David Lewis, Chase Meggers, the 5 and 6 hitters in Scott Lander's order, and not the start that Aiden Hunter wanted here in the top of the 6th to put the 2 top hitters on base.
Aiden Hunter, his second playoff appearance against the Braves in the last 2 seasons. August 4th against Bourne last summer, an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Nobody from that team in the starting lineup today, as the first pitch is in there for strike 1 to Blake Barthel. One right-hander warming up in the Kettleers bullpen right now. See how long Aiden Hunter is able to work into this outing, but with runners on first and second, the corners are playing in. Expecting the bunt as Barthel squares, lays it down, and he is down 0-2. But Aiden Hunter, with that appearance at the end of the summer, last summer, his lone playoff appearance against the Braves, that actually lowered his ERA from 4.6 to 3.9, so sub-4 ERA overall in the summer, thanks to that final appearance against the Braves where he found some success. And there's always opportunities in the playoffs, as Aiden Hunter proved. But that one low and inside, and it looks like that ran inside and hit Blake Barthel on the back foot. So that's just a tough way to lose that batter after taking an 0-2 advantage on him. And here comes Isaiah Jackson with the bases juiced and nobody gone. So Alex, it's reminiscent of a night ago.
Eerily similar to a night ago where Zach Duenas came out of the bullpen for Cotuit, walked the first 3 hitters he faced, and then was pulled from the game by Mike Robertson. In that 6th inning, Bourne ended up scoring 3 runs, and that broke the game open. It took a 5-2 advantage here, and Cotuit leading 3-2. They've had the momentum for most of the game, but looking to avoid that fate here.
So a new pitcher is coming into the game for the Kettleers. Day will be done for Aiden Hunter. Completes 2 innings of work, is unable to record an out in his 3rd. And we'll tell you about the new arm on the other side of this break here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
The best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
When you need to be seen for a minor illness or...
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Tyler O'Neill enters into the game for the Kettleers. He'll be the 4th arm used by Cotuit, and he was the starter in last night's game for the Kettleers. Went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts. We saw he was on the board as an available reliever today, and he enters into this game with the bases juiced, no gone, to Isaiah Jackson. This is with the first one upstairs, 1-0. So you need a guy to come into the game and throw strikes. This is likely that guy.
It was just the 3rd inning that got away from Tyler O'Neill, gave up a leadoff single to Ethan Conrad, stranded him on 3rd, worked an inning-ending double play in the 2nd.
Jackson hits this one deep to the right field corner. Hall tracking back along the fence. He makes the grab. Runner charging in from third. He will score. David Lewis ties up this ball game on a sacrifice fly from Isaiah Jackson. That one given a ride, nearly 4. Kettleers will likely trade that in for just 1 coming in to score.
I think all the Cotuit faithful took a deep breath as that ball was crushed into deep right field, and a sigh of relief when Nathan Hall came up with that baseball. Nearly would have been the second grand slam for Bourne against Cotuit this season.
Infield still playing up for Stanfield. It gets away from Jay. Coming in to score from third is Meggers. He does so easily, and it's a 4-3 ball game. So a wild pitch plates the 4th run of the game for the Braves. And still with 1 out in this inning, they have a chance to bring in another run with Barthel standing 90 feet away. Tyler O'Neill trying to work his way in and out of this 6th frame. Next pitch to Stanfield in there for strike 1. Stanfield going into this game 1 for 3 in the series. 0 for 2 today, though, with a swinging strikeout and a weak ground out to first. 1-1. Had a similar opportunity in the last inning. Runner in scoring position, a runner on third, actually, with 2 outs in that frame. And now the 2-1 home. O'Neill barely misses low and in.
Not sure where that pitch missed on Chris Stanfield. Neal placed it right on the inside corner, just didn't get the call.
The 3-1. Off the end of the bat, slow roller to Tanner Thatch. He'll go home. Throw goes up the line. Run comes in to score. Stanfield hustles up to second. And the wheels have fallen off for the Kettleers in the 6th frame.
Well, it's just copy and paste from a night ago where the 6th inning got away from Cotuit last night, where Bourne put up 3 runs after Zach Duenas walked the bases loaded. They put up 3 runs here in the 6th, and there's still only 1 out as Chris Stanfield advances into scoring position after Tanner Thatch's 2nd error in back-to-back games.
Now here's Ethan Conrad. Leadoff hitter for the Braves. O'Neill fires. That one hit into the alleyway. Deep left center field. Davalon tracking back, and he makes the grab. Reaching up, he lost the hat, but found the baseball for out number 2.
That might be the biggest play that Charles Davalon has made this year. Started in on the hard bullet off the bat of Ethan Conrad, then had to backtrack, leaping up, making the running grab for an excellent catch out in the left center field alleyway. If Davalon didn't make that grab, that ball was headed for extra bases, and with the speed of Ethan Conrad, that might have been a triple for him, and excellent grab keeping Stanfield at second.
That could have at least been a triple for Ethan Conrad. But there are 2 gone for Merrick Houston, who has swung an incredibly hot bat in this series. Going into today, 5 for 8 with a pair of RBIs. Now 6 for 11 in the West Division Championship. 1 for 3 today. And the 1-0 from O'Neill. He takes in the dirt. So it's been a lot of 2-out production for the Braves against the Kettleers, but getting a hot start in this inning by loading up the bases just as they did last night, and they were able to clear them off, scoring all 3 of those runs, and they've done that now in back-to-back games. 2-0. Misses away, and now Merrick Houston has a nice 3-0 cushion for him. But with first base open, not the worst thing in the world to walk him here. And Braden Holcomb looking for his first hit on deck, but he gets over with the fastball, and it's 3-1. Tyler O'Neill, a high strike thrower going into his appearance last night, as that one misses outside. Merrick Houston's on his way to first. No walks in last night's contest for Tyler O'Neill, his first today. And they'll have 2 runners on with 2 gone.
O'Neill threw 47 pitches last night, 30 of which went for strikes, and a guy, just like you said, Joe, who usually is steady on the mound, doesn't toss too many balls, and just looking for 3 more strikes to get out of this inning.
64% of his pitches found the zone going into last night's game, and it really wasn't him missing at times with pitches. It was just the Braves running into a lot of them, hitting him hard as he gave up 6 hits. Going into that appearance, had allowed 20 hits in just over 11 innings. This one hammered on the ground. Becerra knocks it down. His throw to first is in time for the 3rd out. So Aiden Hunter and Tyler O'Neill combine in the 6th inning, able to work their way out of this frame, but not before the Braves put up 3 straight runs after loading up the bases with nobody gone. So the Kettleers now trailing in this one. We go to the home half of the 6th. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod since 1988. Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
The cleanup hitter for the Kettleers will lead off the bottom of the 6th frame after Bourne put up 3 in the top half of this inning to take a 5-3 lead. Joe Arriola back out there. First pitch to Hall. Straight back up the middle into center field, a base hit.
That's a huge base hit for Nathan Hall, not wasting any time lining that ball right into center field. And the first hit since Charles Davalon singled back in the 3rd. He was obviously picked off, and it's always good for the Kettleers to get a base runner on after Joe Arriola retired the last 7 hitters that he faced.
Yeah, seemingly getting into a groove in the 4th and 5th innings. 2 strikeouts across those frames, 6 up, 6 down. Now here's Charles Davalon, who's 1 for 2. Takes a big swing and a miss. Two hits in the first round against Wareham. 0 for 3 in game 1 against Bourne. 2 for 4 last night. Down 0-2. Was 1 for 3 against Bourne during the regular season. Now 3 for 10 overall. It was a double, his lone hit against Braves pitching. That came on the last day of the regular season. Now he saws that one off towards 3rd. Holcomb going to 2nd for 1. That's the only play they'll have. Nabbing the lead runner there, but Davalon advancing to 1st on the fielder's choice.
Davalon was just trying to stay alive, and that at-bat cut a pitch in on his hands, grounds it hard to Braden Holcomb at 3rd, whose only play was at 2nd. Good speed by Davalon to reach on the fielder's choice.
Now Devin Taylor with the runner on 1st. Was productive to start off his day with a bases-loaded walk, driving in the first run of the game for the Kettleers, as they held a 3-2 lead from the 3rd inning all the way into the top of this 6th frame. Here's the 1-0. Taylor checks his swing. He goes around about 75%. Just couldn't hold back on that 83-mile-an-hour curveball. And it's a 1-1 count to Devin Taylor. Taylor, a great way to end his regular season, went 7 for 14 in the month of August, but still looking for his first postseason hit, 0 for 12 going into this contest. 0 for 1 today. 2-1. Hit into straightaway center field. Stanfield back, settling under it, and he pulls it down.
That was the deepest ball Devin Taylor's hit all postseason. Got a pitch that he could drive, hit it to straightaway center field. Thought it might have had a chance to go out off the bat, but Stanfield tracking it the entire way. Gloves it down for the second out.
Now it's Timo Becerra, who is 1 for 12 in the playoffs so far. Batted .400 in the month of August, and he's down 0-1. Joe Arriola looking to complete his 6th inning of work. It's his first start in exactly a week. Getting the start last Friday as the 0-1 offering is in there for strike 2. He's a guy who has had a high strikeout rate for pretty much every single team that he's played for. But most importantly this summer, 28 Ks in 23 innings pitched, that going into this contest. Has 5 today. Becerra stays alive. Arriola, as you mentioned, at just 1 home run allowed going into this outing, but has responded really well after giving up that second home run. Allowed just 2 base knocks. Here's the 0-2 to Becerra. Good eye there as he takes 93 upstairs. Joe Arriola getting his second taste of summer ball this year. 22 strikeouts in 16 innings for the High Toms of the Coastal Plains League a summer ago. Now the 1-2 to Becerra. He gets a piece of it, rolls it slowly to Barthel, throws on the run, and a high throw, but it's in time to get Becerra with the 3rd out of the bottom of the 6th. So the Kettleers, despite putting on a leadoff base runner, they leave him stranded and still trail 5-3 as we played 6 from Lowell Park. Cotuit down by 2 as we go to the 7th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Find everything you need to beautify your home at Beacon Gardens. Quality products and customer service. They can offer those Superior Garden Center. Visit Beacon Gardens, Russellville, West Barnstable Road. Pitching for the Kettleers, 30, Canada Thatch. UNC Wilmington, Thatch, 30 now pitching. Number 6 with the first base. Is Tyler Ferry, number 46, from Indiana. Journey will be back in the 6th spot for the designated hitter.
So we move into the top of the 7th inning. A new pitcher is onto the bump for the Kettleers as the everyday man at first base for Cotuit is on to make his third pitching appearance of the summer. Team MVP Tanner Thatch.
Tanner Thatch doing a little bit of everything for Cotuit, has pitched in 2 games this year, both coming against the Brewster Whitecaps, where he went 2 1/3, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, that only 1 was earned, and struck out 3. And Mike Roberts calling upon Tanner Thatch in a big spot with his team trailing by 2 runs.
So Tyler O'Neill came in to finish up that 6th inning. Did end up allowing all of those runs to come in, but none of them were on hits. And now it'll be Tanner Thatch. Guy who has hit 9 home runs this summer has already hit 1 today. He'll get the sign from Grant J as the pitch comm doesn't appear to be working, and he fires. First pitch slider in there for strike 1. And now Grant J will go out there, try to figure out the issue with this pitch comm. But Tristan Becerra is the batter. He'll lead off this top of the 7th inning, 4, 5, and 6, facing Tanner Thatch, Becerra, Lewis, and Meggers. All of those guys have at least 1 base knock today. So Tanner Thatch, as you mentioned, pitching against Brewster twice, his last appearance all the way back on July 10th. Here's the 0-1. Becerra thought about swinging, flinched at the hands, but he holds back. So 1-1 to Tanner Thatch, who had a lot of pitching appearances in high school. As a hitter, needless to say, was on a tear his senior year, but allowed 8 runs as a senior. Just 1 of them was earned. Next pitch, big swing and a miss. It's 1-2 on Becerra. Thatch had a 0.1 ERA, striking out 139 batters, 27 walks in 73 innings pitched his senior year at Perquimans County High School. He's ahead 1-2 here on Tristan Becerra, who's 1 for 3. Here it comes. Thatch gets a swing and a miss, strike 3. A strikeout on the first batter that he faces on 4 pitches, and there's 1 gone in the 7th.
Big sigh of relief for Tanner Thatch out on the mound, who barehands a flip from Timo Becerra and making quick work of Tristan Becerra. And coming into the game at first base is Tyler Cerny, as Tanner Thatch moving from first to on the mound. So Cotuit taking away their designated hitter. That was Devin Taylor, so Cerny will hit in his spot. Taylor reached on an RBI walk in his first at-bat, that went 0 for 2 in the final 2 ABs, with a swing, strikeout, and a flyout to Chris Stanfield in center.
So Tyler Cerny gets his 3rd appearance at third base for the Kettleers this summer. Day is done for Devin Taylor, as you mentioned. He ended up going 0 for 2 with an RBI walk. And now the next batter that Thatch will face, it's David Lewis. He misses up and away. So Thatch will throw that fastball in the low 90s. Also has a slider to go along with it, right around 77. Next pitch to Lewis, who's 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. Across his high school career, had a 24-3 record as a pitcher. 327 strikeouts in 173 innings. That one misses low and outside, hitting the gun at 91 miles an hour. 2-1 to Lewis. The infield and outfield will play straight up for Lewis. That flag just to the left of the scoreboard in left center field is ripping away towards center. The 2-1. 3-1. That one at the bottom of the zone. Tough to tell where it missed, though. David Lewis, a fly out, ground out, and a single an inning ago. 3-1 from Thatch. Hammer deep down the left field line, but it twists out of play.
Lewis just out in front of the 5th pitch of the at-bat from Thatch, and ball was on the inside corner. Lewis turned on it hard, deep down the left field line.
So the count has run full against David Lewis, who went 1 for 2 with an RBI single in last night's game. That one skips in, misses everything, and David Lewis is on his way to first. Second time in as many innings that he reaches that first base bag. So they'll have one on with one gone in the 7th. Tanner Thatch with a 0.61 career ERA in high school to go along with a .477 batting average in his 4 seasons on the varsity squad. 20 homers as well. Now set to face Chase Meggers, lefty on lefty matchup. That one nearly hit him. Meggers backing out up off the plate from that one. He's 2 for 3 today. Home run back in the 2nd inning to lead off that frame, and then a single in the 6th. He came around to score on a wild pitch. Now he hits that one on the ground to Jaron Advincula. Turns and throws to second for 1. On to first. It pulls Cerny off the bag. So they just get the lead runner but have 2 gone with still a runner on first.
Well, Luke Hansen is rightfully upset at second base because they're going to say that David Lewis went hard into the bag, disrupted the throw from Hansen. So a little bit of chippiness. Charles Davlon threw up his hands in center field. Luke Hansen is still upset about that no call. Could have been runner's interference on Lewis and would have potentially ended the inning.
Inning will continue, though. We'll check back at first. Blake Barthel is the batter. Barthel's 1 for 2 with a double and a hit by pitch, but yeah, you're right. There's those plays like that that hint at a little bit of that nastiness that we saw last night between Mike Roberts and the Bourne dugout. That was in the middle of the 6th inning. Tanner Thatch dials in a first pitch ball up and inside to Barthel. But it was someone who said something to Mike Roberts as he was beyond the third base bag right after a Scott Landers mound visit. That brought the umpires into the equation. Also, Danny Crossan ran over there trying to protect his head coach and his former coach. Now a member of the coaching staff is Danny Crossan, and he was issued a warning in that game after going toe-to-toe with Jared Saltalamacchia. Doing so again today. Thatch misses upstairs. Danny Crossan calling the balls and strikes for the Kettleers. Jared Saltalamacchia calling pitches for the Bourne Braves. Always helps when you have a 13-year MLB veteran and former catcher calling your pitches this time of year. Tanner Thatch's pitch comm hasn't worked all inning, so they're doing it the old-fashioned way. Gets the sign from Jay. 2-0. Down the heart of the plate, strike 1.
You can see Thatch with his left hand just signaling to Jay, put the sign down. His pitch comm hasn't worked, and doing it the old-fashioned way here, it does again, and continuing to shake his head out on the mound.
He gets the sign he likes here. 2-1 count to Barthel. Breaking ball upstairs. Didn't move much. Stayed right there, and it's 3-1. That's shaking his head after releasing that pitch. Three-1 offering to Barthel. Fastball on the outer edge to make this count full. Barthel didn't like that call, but he has to dig back in. But it was Tanner Thatch at the end of his high school career. For his two-way abilities, was drafted in the 18th round of 2022 draft by the San Francisco Giants. Went on to play at UNCW as that one is flicked off the end of the bat of Barthel. Hansen giving chase, shallow left field, and he makes the grab. So Tanner Thatch's third pitching appearance of the summer is able to work his way in and out of that top of the 7th inning. We go to the home half of this frame. We played 6.5 from Lowell Park. The Kettleers trail it 5-3 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasek, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasek Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasek Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasek Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70
salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 19...
New pitcher on the mound for the Bourne Braves. That's the end of the day for Joe Arriola, who goes 6 frames. And Alex, it's a familiar face on the bump in Kyle Lacalametto, who went 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Did give up a home run in his last appearance. That came in Game 40 on Sunday against these Cotuit Kettleers.
That he did, and he only pitched 2 games during the regular season. Another late add for Scott Lander's Bourne Braves. Had a 6 ERA. And over his 2 appearances, only eating up 3 innings of work, and the home run that you mentioned to the man who's set to hit 3rd this inning, that being Brandon Compton.
It'll be 8-9-1, starting off with a guy who has already hit a home run in this game, Grant Jay. So another lefty reliever for the Bourne Braves. Jay is 1 for 2. Lacalametto out of Houston, 16 appearances there this past spring, 6 starts in 36 2/3 innings, had a 6.9 ERA. First pitch to Jay, sky high on the infield in foul territory, playable for Meggers, tracking it all the way, and he makes the grab. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Kyle Lacalametto.
Jay skied that ball in foul territory. A nice grab by Chase Meggers, who threw off the mask and lost his balance, but ended up finding the baseball. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Grant Jay, and Cotuit down to their final 8 outs.
Now it's Luke Hansen, who's 0 for 2 today with a swinging K and a looking K. Facing another lefty in Lacalametto. First pitch. On the outer edge, strike 1 to Hansen. Hansen cracks that one into left, and that will sink in for a base hit. A 1-out base knock for Luke Hansen, his first of the playoffs, putting to rest an 0 for 9 streak at the plate.
It's a huge base hit for Luke Hansen. Just getting a pitch that he can drive, lining it hard, dunking it down in front of Tristan Becerra.
So here's Brandon Compton, who, as you mentioned it, Alex, a good start against Kyle Lacalametto as he put one into the right field bullpen the last time these two squared off. Lefty on left. Hansen stays put at first, and it's a 1-0 advantage for Brandon Compton, who's 0 for 3 today. He reached on an error, flew out, and now has struck out swinging. That was back in the 5th inning. And his first time facing Kyle Lacalametto in this ball game. Now ahead 2-0. Went 0 for 2 in Game 1 against Wareham, and 3 for 4, 2 for 4 against Bourne so far in the first 2 games. 5 for 8 against Bourne pitching in the last 2. Looking for his first hit today. Now would be a perfect time as the 2-0 right down the heart of the plate, 2-1.
We've seen Brandon Compton hit so many clutch home runs and hit a 2-run bomb last night to even the score at 2 apiece in the 5th inning. But Cotuit trailing by 2, a home run would be nice, but you just need to stack base runners.
Said last night when he hit that home run, he was just trying to get a good swing off, knowing the runner was taking off from first. Now a big cut and miss on that 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball. And it's a 2-2 count between Compton and Lacalametto. Big opportunity for Brandon Compton. Trying to extend this inning. There's one gone. Hansen at first, 2-2. He checks his swing, and he did go, says the home plate umpire. Ike and Ahosa ringing him up. Didn't want to check for a second opinion at third, and there's 2 gone.
That was a pitch low in the zone on Brandon Compton. Tried to check his swing, but he does go around, and just an unfortunate sequence for Brandon Compton, who's fallen on hard times with the count him falling back to 0 for 4 today.
Jaron Advincula is 1 for 3. Big 2-out opportunity for him, but he tries to lay down the bunt, swats it straight back. Trying to get the third baseman, Braden Holcomb, off guard, was playing deep at the third base bag. It looks like he's going to stay there. Shaded back of that third base bag. Both of the middle infielders are back with Lewis holding Hansen on at first base. Outfielders playing straight up, slightly shifted to the push side for Advincula. 0-1. Gets underneath it, popped up towards left. Becerra charging in, says he has it, and he'll make the running grab for the third and final out of the bottom of the 7th inning. So the Kettleers are down to their final 6 outs, but the Braves will come up to bat here in the top of the 8th frame. But before then, we'll check in once more with Adele Huffman, who's at field level. Adele?
Thanks, Joe. After talking with Coach last night after the game, last night's win mainly came down to too many errors, too many walks, and too many defensive mistakes. But also, one thing we have to remember is that Bourne is just a really good team, and so is Cotuit. So all of these playoff games have been highly competitive. But one thing Coach Roberts wants to implement in these players is that they're not playing for the host families. They're not playing for the coaches. They're playing for themselves and to become better baseball players. So as long as they're having fun and learning things out here this summer, that's a success in his eyes. But I'll send it back to you, Joe and Alex, to see how the remainder of this game falls out.
Thanks so much, Adele. Great stuff as always. Yeah, the Kettleers playing from behind once again against these Bourne Braves. It seems like that was the case in the last at least 2 games of the regular season in their season series this year.
That it has been, and especially here at Lowell Park, Bourne's offense just continues to pour on runs, and even when falling behind, Cotuit had a 3-2 advantage. It was that 6th inning that proved costly for Cotuit. Aiden Hunter came out of the bullpen, put the first 3 base runners on, and then fell into some hard times, and they all came in to score. Bourne still leading with that same score, 5-3, and also Mike Roberts talked about Adele mentioning hoping that the guys are playing for themselves, but he also said about the intensity today. It'll be intense, but you got to relax and play well, and you have to feel prepared in every situation, and Cotuit has played a lot of situations when trailing to the Bourne Braves, especially late in the season, and trailing by 2 runs down to their final 6 outs in need of a comeback.
Going to have to get 3 outs before you try to do that with the bats, though, as it's going to be 8-9-1. Isaiah Jackson, Chris Stanfield, and Ethan Conrad. Isaiah Jackson, his 2nd start of the playoffs, first against the Kettleers in this series. He's 1 for 2, squares around, but pulls it back for strike 1. Sacrifice fly his last time up in the 6th inning. Also a single and a stolen base in the 4th, a ground out in the 2nd. Now he's down 0-2, putting the bunt play away there on that 74-mile-an-hour slider from Tanner Thatch. Thatch working into his 2nd inning of work, got a strikeout, a pop out of Blake Barthel, and a ground out. Fielder's choice there in that inning. Also walked a batter, David Lewis. Now he's still ahead in this count, 1-2 on Isaiah Jackson. Started off his postseason campaign 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 Ks at Hyannis. 1-2 from Thatch. Jackson swings and misses at strike 3. 2 swinging Ks for Tanner Thatch, and what a way for him to start off his 2nd inning of work.
Tanner Thatch is doing a job out on the mound and really playing well. 1 for 3 at the dish with a home run. That was the last run that Cotuit scored. And coming out of the bullpen in relief, his 2nd strikeout. And though he did give up a runner on base last inning, ended up stranding him.
Here's Chris Stanfield. He puts a charge into the first pitch he sees. That eats up Luke Hansen into left field. Stanfield thinking about 2. Almost goes halfway there, but he'll go back to the first base bag with his first hit of the day.
A ball was rocketed off the bat right to the shortstop, Luke Hansen, who went into a slide trying to eat up that ground ball. It just hops over his glove and into left field as Stanfield reaches once again. He's reached in his last 2 plate appearances.
The 7th inning, that last inning, was the first inning all day where the Braves have not been able to record a hit. So in 7 out of 8 innings now with that Chris Stanfield single, they've been able to record a base knock. 9 total for the Braves, 7 for Cotuit. First pitch to Conrad. He dials in a slider, 0-1. Just 4 hits for the Braves in game 1. 3 of those coming from the top half of the order. 10 hits from the top half in the first 2 games. But we've really seen this lineup come alive 1 through 9 today.
Tyler Cerny just lobbing that ball back to Tanner Thatch, and lucky that it didn't go away further as Stanfield thought about dashing for second.
There's a guy who had 14 stolen bags in the regular season. Now he takes off. Thatch picks off. Throw from Cerny to second is in time. They got him. Stanfield nabbed on a pickoff attempt from Tanner Thatch, and quickly there are 2 gone in the 8th.
Well, what can't Tanner Thatch do? Flashing on the mound with a pair of strikeouts, hitting a home run today, now picking off Chris Stanfield, the ever-dangerous base runner. And we talk about momentum so much, and that's a big momentum-changing play.
0-1. Conrad flings it foul. Could build some more of that momentum going into the bottom half of the 8th inning by striking out one of the top hitters in the league right here. Any out will do. He's 1 for 4. Next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tanner Thatch gets Ethan Conrad on 3 pitches to put an end to the top of the 8th frame. And when we come back, he'll be leading off the bottom of the 8th as the Kettleers are trying to mount a comeback. Down 5-3 to Bourne. 6 outs to go here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit.
It's time to answer Ket's trivia as we move into the bottom of the 8th inning from Lowell Park. This former Kettleer won a championship for Cotuit in 2010. The catcher currently plays for the Baltimore Orioles after turning in seasons with the Tigers, White Sox, and Mets. 1 big home run in that championship series. Special shout out to Tyler Danberg who got this answer right. James McCann, catcher for the Kettleers. He hit just 105 during the regular season that year in 29 games and really turned things on in the postseason. As here's Tanner Thatch to start off the bottom of the 8th. Rattles 1 foul. Kettleers with just 2 hits since the 4th inning. 2 hits since Charles Davalon's 1-out single in the 3rd, to be more exact, and the offense has experienced a similar thing that they have throughout this season, which is their offense dying out in the second half of ball games as Tanner Thatch takes a strike 2. With the offense coming alive last night after the 5th inning, all 4 of their runs scored after that frame. Next pitch to Thatch upstairs. He thought he was going to get rung up, but he gets another chance at 1-2.
I'm not sure where that pitch missed. It looked from our vantage point right down the heart of the plate. But it's called ball 1 as Thatch stays alive.
1-2. Batch powers that on the ground towards second. Barthel up with it. And there's one gone.
Thatch just rolling over on a ground ball right to Barthel, who makes the easy play, and Kyle Lacalametto, who's come out of the bullpen doing exactly what he's been asked to do by Scott Landers. Come in, throw strikes, 14 pitches, 11 strikes, only allowing one base runner so far in the 5 hitters he's faced.
Now here's Nathan Hall with one gone. He's 2 for 3. Pair of singles and a strikeout swinging in the third. He'll take a called strike, 1 low and away. From the lefty, Kyle Lacalametto, who works into his second inning of work against the Kettleers, did allow a hit last inning, 1 strikeout, 3 up, 3 down, other than the single. It's a 1-1 count to Nathan Hall now, who going into today was 1 for his last 10 since hitting a 3-run home run in Game 1 against Wareham. Now he smokes this one to left center field. Stanfield charging in. He won't have a play on that ball. Was playing deep in center and frustrated that he was unable to come in and make that grab, as the Kettleers will have a 1-out base runner and the 3rd hit of the day for Nathan Hall.
Stanfield got a late break on that ball, and after the pickoff move where Tanner Thatch got him at second, he had a hard slide into the bag. Appeared to be walking off the field a little bit gingerly. Not sure if his legs are bothering him at all, but he was playing deep, like you mentioned, in center field, and just got a late break on that dying baseball in the left center field alleyway.
So Hall improves to 3 for 4, and now here's Charles Davallon. Breaking ball upstairs. Ball 1. 4 for 11 going into this game. A single surrounding a pair of fielder's choice groundouts. Someone who has performed better with runners on base compared to when the bases are empty. But so far today, a couple of fielder's choice groundouts, but during the regular season hit just 125 with the bases empty. Worst average on the team in that mark. 1-1 is flinged foul.
Davallon hit .364 with runners in scoring position, a big difference. Now with Nathan Hall, a lot of speed standing on first. Don't want to get too aggressive. Already seen a Kettleer get picked off.
1-2. Misses in the dirt.
That was Charles Davallon, who got picked off in the third, was too aggressive.
Hall the team leader with 6 stolen bags this summer. Short lead at first. 2-2 to Davallon. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Kyle Lacalametto. He pulls the string on Charles Davallon, who goes down on strikes for the first time today, and there are 2 gone for Tyler Cerny.
Davallon was looking to hit his 2nd home run this postseason on that big cut. However, Lacalametto pulls the strings on him. Davallon with his head well out in front and comes up with nothing but air.
So here's Tyler Cerny batting for Devin Taylor. Taylor went 0 for 2 with an RBI walk in the first inning, but he has now been replaced by Tyler Cerny, who made the move to first. First pitch, up and away. Tyler Cerny getting his first start this postseason. His last appearance came against this Bourne Braves team. Game 40 of the regular season, where he went 0 for 1. Was a pinch hitter for Luke Hansen. His last start was on July 31st, when he went 0 for 3 with a walk. 1-1 the count to him against Kyle Lacalametto. Did not face Lacalametto when he appeared against the Kettleers last Sunday. 2 outs in the inning. Hall a short lead at first, and the 1-1 offering. Cerny gets a piece, but fouls it away. Devin Taylor dominating the Hoosiers lineup this past spring. Pretty much every offensive category, but Tyler Cerny leading the team with 60 RBIs. Also 10 homers. He hit .315 this spring. 1-2. Bounced in there. It bounces over Chase Megger's head. Nathan Hall moves up into scoring position.
Cerny has had success against Bourne this year. In a game on July 6th, he went 2 for 3. Also had a double and an RBI. Just looking to put a ball in play and have it drop down for a hit to continue this inning, especially now with Nathan Hull, who we talked about, Joe, has a lot of speed now, standing in scoring position.
Cerny, a 182 hitter in the regular season with runners in scoring position, 6 for 33. 2-2. Breaking ball fanned at and missed. Strike 3, down goes Tyler Cerny. They leave a runner in scoring position. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 man left on base for the Kettleers in the bottom of the 8th frame. 3 outs remain for the Bourne Braves. But when we come back, they'll be hitting in the top of the 9th inning. Up by 2 as we send it to the 9th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Two, 3, and 4 will face Tanner Thatch in the top of the 9th inning. Merrick Houston, Braden Holcomb, and Tristan Becerra. All but one of those guys has a base hit. All but one guy in this starting lineup for Bourne has a hit. First pitch is up and away to Merrick Houston. He's 1 for 3, a double back in the 5th frame, walked in the 6th. Somebody who has just been tearing apart Cotuit pitching in this series. 1-0 from Thatch. Bounced in there. Looked like that one hit the mask of the home plate umpire, Mike Hinojosa. Looks like he's all right. 2-0 count to Merrick Houston. 6 for 11 against the Kettleers in this series. Now with a walk, has 2 RBIs. That one misses low and inside. He nearly made it to first base again, but is ahead in the count 3-0. Nobody warming up in the Kettleers bullpen right now. It appears to be Tanner Thatch's game. Hit me over fastball for strike 1. Merrick Houston is somebody who started off the summer with the Braves, made his way to the Team USA national roster in Cary, North Carolina. And he takes that one for strike 2. But made his way back to have a very productive month of July after starting off his summer great. 360 hitter in June and then 291 in July. Slowly rolls that one to Becerra in foul territory. Was a part of a Wake Forest team that made it to the Greenville Regional. He hit .326 this spring. 8 homers, 16 doubles, a triple, 39 RBIs. Good to put him on the All-ACC third team. Now he takes up and outside, and it's back-to-back walks for Merrick Houston. Every single inning, the Braves have put on a base runner.
Once again, the leadoff man reaching for Bourne as Merrick Houston continuing to have success against the Kettleers. Still remains 1 for 3, but has reached in 3 of his 5 plate appearances, drawing 2 walks.
So it's Braden Holcomb now. He's 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts after walking in the first inning. continues to struggle against the Kettleers in this series. Found a lot of success in the regular season, though. Tanner Thatch peaks at first, and Merrick Houston's in there standing up. But Braden Holcomb going into this game against the Kettleers this series 0 for 6. He's now 0 for 9, but has made a difference with 4 walks and just 1 strikeout. First pitch on the outer edge, strike 1. During the regular season, 6 for 14 with 5 driven in. A homer here at Lowell Park with 6 strikeouts. Chance to add on some insurance runs as they lead it by 2. Next pitch from Thatch. This is upstairs, 1-1. There is a righty warming up in the Bourne bullpen right now. They've gone from Joe Ariola to Kyle Lacalametto. Ariola pitching 6, Lacalametto the last 2. And they'll seemingly go to one more arm to get the final 3 outs. But Tanner Thatch just looking to get 3 in the top of this 9th inning. Time called by Hinojosa. Wanting Thatch to acknowledge his batter. Tanner Thatch up to 35 pitches now, 20 of which have been strikes. Through 2 innings, has piled on 3 Ks. Also walked a pair of batters. And his 1-1. Holcomb swings and misses. He's down 1-2. Looked like the changeup there from Tanner Thatch, low and outside.
Tanner Thatch using a variety of pitches. Has his fastball sitting in the low 90s. Excellent changeup to change the speeds against Holcomb.
That one at 83. 1-2. He gets a piece. 84 that time. Well, Alex, we knew going into this game that the long ball would play a factor. But all 3 long balls in this game have been solo shots. 3 out of those 8 total runs on the board have been from the homer. Chase Meggers for Bourne, Grant J for Cotuit, and Tanner Thatch, who's on the bump right now. Thatch 1 for 4 as a hitter today. And now looking to complete his 3rd inning of work, but needs to start it off nicely with an out here. First batter reached. Merrick Houston on a base on balls, his 2nd today. Paying a lot of attention to him at first. He's got a big lead over there. This is a Bourne team that has stolen more bags than anyone. But he gets Braden Holcomb to swing and miss here. Tanner Thatch picks up his 4th strikeout, and there's 1 gone in the 9th.
Thatch has the strikeout pitch working today, and something that we saw in his first 2 appearances, one in late June, one in early July, both against Brewster. Thatch with the ability to strike out hitters, now up to 4 Ks and 2 1/3.
Tristan Becerra digs in. He's 1 for 4. Strikeout swinging as in his last at-bat. That was to start off Tanner Thatch's day. As it's tough to tell where that missed, but it did inside 1-0. Becerra with his first hit against the Kettleers this series. Back in the 3rd inning, it was a single to improve to now 1 for 8. 2 strikeouts in the series so far. Made an appearance as a defensive replacement and a pinch hitter in last night's game, but didn't get the start. 1-0. Called strike 1 at 89 from Tanner Thatch. For Bourne, this offense has really taken a turn in the past 2 games. That one just inside 2-1. But jumping out to a 2-0 lead in last night's game, they were able to score 7 after recording just 2 runs on 4 hits, and that was their lowest run total since July 24th the other day. That one in the dirt, gobbled up by Grant J. Picks it up in a 3-1 count now on Tristan Becerra.
The Game 1 loss against Cotuit was the first time they had lost a 9-inning game all the way back on July 20th. They lost 10-5 against Wareham.
3-1. Tipped off of Grant J. Off the left thigh, it looked like. Saw him get struck around that area earlier on in this game. That one a bit more to the left, so looks like he's going to be all right. Cotuit and Bourne going at it once again in the playoffs this summer. They met in the first round a summer ago, where Bourne took that one in 2 games, sweeping the Kettleers in the first round 2-0. Also beat Cotuit in the summer of 2021, winning 2 games to 1. 3-2 from Thatch. You're going to have to wait. This is the 4th meeting between these two clubs in the postseason since 2014, where the Kettleers won that one 2 games to 1 in the first round. That was the last time Cotuit beat Bourne in a series. 3-2. Rolled sharply but foul. The 7th meeting between these two squads in the postseason since 2010. Cotuit defeating Bourne in 2013 in the West Division Final, en route to a CCBL Championship. Won that series 2 games to 1, responded the next year to beat Bourne in the first round, but since then, it's been all Braves. Called strike 3. Tristan Becerra gets rung up on a 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Tanner Thatch. His 5th strikeout, first looking, and there are 2 gone in the 9th.
Just an excellent pitch on the 7th pitch of the at-bat against the left-handed hitting Tristan Becerra, dotting the inside corner. Becerra down, looking back-to-back pivotal strikeouts for Tanner Thatch, who is trying to strand Merrick Houston, who remains on first.
Now it's David Lewis. He's 1 for 3, a single and a walk in his last 2 plate appearances. First pitch from Thatch, up and inside. Well, for the Kettleers, they're looking to get back into the CCBL Championship for the first time in 5 years. They went in 2019. 1-0. Rolled on the ground towards Luke Hansen. On a knee, he gets the lead runner at second for the 3rd out of the top of the 9th inning. So the Kettleers are going to look to make it to the championship for the first time since 2019 and defeat Bourne for the first time since 2014 in the playoffs. When we return in the bottom of the 9th frame, Cotuit down by 2, 3 outs to go from Lowell Park here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Bottom of the 9th inning and the last chance for the Kettleers in the 2024 campaign. And Alex, a familiar face on the mound again, Packy Bradley Cooney.
That it is. He pitched in the last game of the regular season when he went an inning and a third, gave up 1 hit, struck out a batter, and Bradley Cooney looking to send Bourne back to the CCBL Championship. Bourne won the last 2 championships, looking to make it for the 4th consecutive season, and facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters Timo Becerra, Grant J, and Luke Hansen.
It'll be his 5th total appearance on the summer. His last appearance came against the Kettleers last Sunday. Picked up the win in that 11-5 win for the Braves. An inning and a third, 1 hit, no walks, 1 strikeout. He did not face the man at the plate in Timo Becerra in that appearance. Becerra watches a breaking ball sail inside for strike 1. Becerra today 0 for 3. Grounded into a fielder's choice put out to put an end to the first inning. 2 ground outs after that. Both on the right side, 0-1 pitch, outside. 92 on the gun from Packy Bradley Cooney, who during the regular season had a 5.1 ERA. 7 innings pitched, allowed 4 earned runs, walked 7, and struck out 10. He deals. Becerra gets a piece, and towards the on-deck circle in foul territory. He's behind in the count 1-2. Plenty of shadows casting their way across this infield as the sun continues to set over the left field trees. Fans rising to their feet, applauding the 2-year veteran Tanner Thatch, making his way off the mound after back-to-back strikeouts in the top of the 9th. Becerra thought about swinging. They'll check at first, and he did not go, says Carmen Parati. It was a regular season for Timo Becerra where he hit .273 with 21 base knocks. No homers, but 3 doubles. The payoff pitch from Packy Bradley Cooney is on the way. Just outside. Sliding across to get it was Chase Meggers. He's played a great backstop in these past 2 games. Likely will go unnoticed for these Bourne Braves if they're able to advance. No outs in the inning. Timo Becerra with a full count, facing Bradley Cooney. Here it comes. Becerra swings and misses at strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for the Kettleers at the dish, and 2 more to get for the Braves.
It's a tough at-bat for Timo Becerra, who battled his way back, had the count 1-2, laid off a couple of tough pitches, but just fans on a nice breaking ball from Bradley Cooney, and Mike Roberts starting to empty his bench.
So it'll be Matt Klein, left-handed hitter, to face the righty Packy Bradley Cooney. Grant J ended up going 1 for 3 with a solo shot in the second. Could have been a late decision from Mike Roberts, or deploying Grant J as a bit of a diversion there in front of the dugout. He was in the on-deck circle, but now Matt Klein steps up to hit in his place. Klein playing in Game 1 of this series. He went 0 for 3. 1 for 4 against Wareham in Game 1. First pitch. Rolled on the ground towards the first baseman Lewis. He waits on it. Flips to first. In time. 1 pitch and now 2 outs for Packy Bradley Cooney. And the Braves are 1 out away from heading to the championship.
The Cotuit season lies in the hands of another pinch hitter, Nolan Naraki, digging in for his first at-bat this postseason as Luke Hansen's day is done, as Packy Bradley Cooney's come out on the mound, gotten 1 pitch, and Matt Klein to roll over. And just like you said, Joe, just 1 out away from heading back to the championship.
Bourne trying to improve to 9-1 in their last 10 elimination games since 2021. Last chance for the Kettleers, Nolan Naraki. He takes a strike 1. It's his first at-bat of the playoffs. His last appearance was against these Bourne Braves, where he went 0 for 3. Did face Packy Bradley Cooney. He flew out to right field in foul territory. 0-1, swing and a miss. Fans on the first base side continuing to get loud. They've been loud all day. 0-2 to Naraki in the dirt. And he gets another breath of life. Well, Alex, one thing's for certain. You just want to get on base for the man on deck to have a chance.
That you do, and although it's been a tough day at the dish for Brandon Compton, a guy who's had so many clutch moments all year, and Rocky just trying to battle one last time.
1-2. Naraki leans out over the plate and stays alive. Great piece of hitting there from Naraki. Slider low and outside from Bradley Cooney. And Alex, do you expect the same pitch here?
I think you could see Bradley Cooney go back to it after Naraki was well out in front. Also could try and see him elevate a pitch and change the eye levels of Naraki after attacking him primarily low in the zone so far in this at-bat.
He only throws the fastball and slider. Let's see what we get here at 1-2. The pitch. Naraki swings and misses at strike 3. And the Bourne Braves continue their quest for a third straight championship banner. The Kettleers 2024 campaign comes to a close in the second round, and for the second straight season, they fall to the Braves. It was an excellent series from the start. The Kettleers taking game 1, 3-2 right here at Lowell Park. Bourne responding with a game that came all the way down to the wire last night in Bourne. They took that one 7-4. And then the Kettleers continuing to fight, continuing to swing away, but they just come up short here against the Braves in game 3. Well, Alex, what a great year it's been. Kettleers making it to the championship series for the first time since they won a championship back in 2019. They gave it their all. They got that first win. Things were looking up, but this is a Bourne team that you definitely don't want to face this time of year. And for Scott Landers, he's headed to a third straight CCBL championship.
That's for sure, and didn't really look that way in the opening 3 innings of this game. The offense came into play early on. Cotuit had a 3-2 lead, and you were starting to feel good and have a lot of confidence, but it was once again the same inning that plagued Cotuit just a night ago, that 6th inning where Bourne put up 3 runs a night ago en route to their 7-4 victory. They put up 3 runs in the 6th and hold on and blank Cotuit after that 3rd inning. 6 consecutive scoreless innings.
Yeah, that was the issue that we saw in the first couple of games. They saw some incredible relief pitching in this series. I mean, how great of a story was it to see the hometown hero from Marston's Mills, Ryan Buckler, in game 1. He turned in 5 scoreless innings en route to that 1 victory for the Kettleers against the Braves. And boy, that was something that was a great moment for him, a great moment for his family, and there have been so many moments like those across the 2024 campaign that really made it worthwhile. And although it ends in a way that the Kettleers definitely don't want it to, there are still so many things this summer that Mike Roberts and this club likely would not have changed for anything, would not have traded in for anything, and it's just a Bourne team that got hot at the right time once again. They have had so many guys here from the start of the summer, and I think that's the biggest thing when you look at these past, not just this year, the past 2 years, when we were talking to both of their broadcasters, Nate Schwartz and Cam Mann, at the start of the year back in June. They had a 3-8 start. Things were looking grim for the Bourne Braves in the first week of that season, and when we were talking to their broadcasters, they just said that this is a team that isn't going to go under much turnover throughout the rest of the season. Other than some guys going to Team USA, making their return from that roster, it was pretty much the same roster from opening day to the finish. They stuck through the tough times, they made their way into the playoffs, and now they have a chance to go win it all.
That's what Chris Stanfield said. A guy who this is his 2nd season with Bourne, he's played with the Braves during the highs of winning a championship a year ago, has been through the lows where they've gotten off to that 3-8 start, and it just shows how complete of a team. They play together, they win together, they lose together, and it's a team that you definitely don't want to face. They got hot at the right time, and you just look at the lineup. They have a bunch of all-stars: Ethan Conrad, Merrick Houston, Braden Holcomb, 3 of the top hitters here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And it's not just the hitters. They got excellent starting pitching all throughout the series. Chase Meyer, even in Game 1, despite getting the loss, he went 6 innings, only giving up 3 runs. And when you really look at that game, it was a pair of wild pitches that got away from the catcher John Schroeder, only really giving up 1 true run. It was an RBI single by Jaron Advincula. Back here at Lowell Park today, Joe Ariola, masterful once again, goes 6 innings, giving up 6 hits. 3 runs, 2 of which earned, and just made 2 mistakes the entire game. Both left the yard, one off the bat of Grant J, one off the bat of Tanner Thatch, but it's just such a tough way for Cotuit to end their season. Is going back to Ryan Buckler's performance. They had all the momentum after game 1, and you could just think if you escape with a win at Bourne Park, a place that you've had success all season long, they won both of the regular season games. It's you going to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship and even returning home, having a 3-2 lead after the first 3 innings is just, once again, and really been the story of the year for Cotuit. 1 bad inning plaguing them, and anytime you give up 3 runs and allow the first 3 hitters to reach base, it was David Lewis, Chase Meggers, and Blake Barthel. Lewis and Meggers reaching on singles, Barthel getting hit by a pitch, all coming which against Aiden Hunter, and Hunter pitched well in his first 2 innings and just struggled in that 6th inning, and just such a tough way for Cotuit to lose. But I know it's a tough ending to the year right now, but there's so many positives that you can take throughout the entire season. The rise of a guy like Brandon Compton, Tanner Thatch doing it from day 1 pretty much, and having an excellent month of July. Mikey Ebner being arguably the best pitcher in the Cape Cod Baseball League, shoving every time he's out on the mound. Devin Taylor, there's so many different guys that contributed to this spot, and being just 1 game away from reaching the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship for the first time since 2019.
Well, how big was a moment for a guy in Tanner Thatch who was here after the 4th of July last summer, somebody who won the Team MVP award this year, was the anchor at first base all season, but to put an exclamation point on his Cotuit career, 3 scoreless frames with 5 strikeouts to finish, and just what an end and what a finish it was for Tanner Thatch.
That it was. Also hit a home run today. Tanner Thatch leaving it all on the field here at Lowell Park in his last time as a Kettleer. And I think the biggest moment was you saw the fans all rise to their feet after Tanner Thatch finished his 3rd inning out on the mound after getting a 6-4 ground out of David Lewis. Every single Cotuit fan rising to their feet here, showing the appreciation that they have for Tanner Thatch, a guy who's given his blood, sweat, and tears to this team and who's really been dedicated over the last year and a half. There's been a lot of highs for Tanner Thatch. There's also been a lot of lows. He struggled early on in this postseason, but when Cotuit needed him most, he shoved out on the mound, went 3 innings, giving up just 1 hit, and also hit a vital home run that tied up the score at 2 back in inning number 2.
There are so many guys on this team who battled through injuries, battled through some issues in the field, but they stuck with it, and I think that was really the spirit of this entire team, is that they were willing to win baseball games, and I think Devin Taylor is a great example of that, a guy who had an incredible season at Indiana this past year, was making his way to the Team USA roster, and he likely could have just taken his summer off after Team USA, after he performed really well in about 5 games there. Could have just taken the summer off, knowing that he would have been projected in the top 10 of next year's draft regardless, but he decided to come back here, and he's a guy who showed blood, sweat, and tears, grit, and determination every single time he was at the plate. Although he struggled in his last couple of games here, it was just a long summer for him. He was tired, and he said to Mike Roberts before the first game of this series that, I'm tired, I want to go home, but I'm going to keep playing for you until you ask me to go home, and he did that today, and unfortunately for him, it wasn't a great performance in the playoffs, but that just shows you the kind of guy that he is, and it's a roster that's filled with guys like that.
And Devin Taylor's a great example. He played so much baseball this year, started in 59 games at Indiana, a team that made a deep run of the Big Ten tournament and came here to Cotuit, a guy who, even when he didn't play in a lot of games, he played in 29 games during the regular season, a guy who was here from day 1, also left to play more baseball at Team USA, a guy who lives, breathes baseball, and Devin Taylor had so much success this year, and it's a hard way for his season to end, not recording a base hit in the postseason, but you have to look at his regular season, just masterful in the batter's box where he hit .296 in 29 games. And like you said, Joe, there's so many of these guys that came to Cotuit, could have easily taken a summer off. Even a guy in Brandon Compton, who had a massive season at Arizona State where he hit .354, came to Cotuit, dominated really throughout the month of July, being the main source of offense for Cotuit at times, came up with so many clutch base hits, and it's just a tough way for the season to end, but it's a great year. Jaron Advincula, another guy who it took us so long to mention, but it's hard not to mention Jaron Advincula, who won the batting title, hit .392 during the regular season, carried that play into the postseason. It's just a guy and a team that was hungry to go deep into the playoffs and just fell one game short of reaching their goal of making the CCBL Championship.
And I'm glad you mentioned it, because that's just what I was about to bring up about Jaron Advincula, a guy who wore his heart on his sleeve each and every day when he was at the plate, when he was in the field, and that's all you can really ask for from a guy in him who was just coming off of his freshman season, got a ton of playing time at Cal Berkeley. He also could have called it quits during the summer. He was unfortunately without his teammate for the rest of the summer, and P.J. Moutsouridis, who had to leave the summer early for personal reasons, but he stuck with it. He stuck here all summer and was a guy who was the heart and soul of this Kettleers team throughout the season, and a guy who hopefully will get another chance on this roster next summer, but he has set himself up nicely to get selected in a draft in a couple of seasons.
Well, I think the biggest thing from Jaron Advincula was a quote that he said earlier on into the year. He said, "You can't get any better than this. I love Lowell Park. I love head coach Mike Roberts, and I love Cotuit. The fans here are amazing, and it makes you want to work hard, not just for yourself, but for these fans. They come out to support us and make playing here so much fun." And you could see that on the field. A guy who wears his heart on his sleeve is going to show a bunch of determination, but also has a lot of moments where you look at him and he just has a smile on his face, playing at great second base, only making one error during the regular season, battling through at-bats. And I feel like the biggest story with Jaron Advincula is a quote that Mike Roberts always says: he battles, and he battles. And, well, Jaron Advincula, that was the story of the summer, a guy who isn't going to flash in the power department. Hit just one home run the entire season, had 5 extra base hits out of his 51 hits in the regular season, and where he hit .392, a gritty player that's going to leg out base hits. So many times we said on the broadcast this year, Joe, Jaron Advincula legs out an infield single, and it just shows you that grit and determination and the heart and the passion for wanting to play here in Cotuit and loving this place.
It was the pure emotion this past week from Jaron Advincula. I mean, every single time he was out there, every time a big play was made, a double play in the middle infield, he was fired up. And another guy who was always fired up out there on the field, Nathan Hall. What more can we say about Nathan Hall this summer? A guy who had to be patient, was left off of the roster for Clemson when they made their run into college baseball postseason, I guess. Of course, we've been thinking so much about summer ball that it's tough to keep up to date with those terms. But yeah, when you look at a guy in Nathan Hall, being patient was his MO, and he was asked about that at the start of the season when he was talking with Shane Patagna. Said being patient has taught him so much. It taught him ways to get better besides just playing. It's hard for him. It was hard for him early on, but it's beneficial to be waiting and wait for your opportunity and to make every opportunity count when you're not getting so many of them is that much more fulfilling. And Nathan Hall is a guy who at the start of the summer hit a home run against his former team in the NECBL in their scrimmage against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, made his way up here, and how cool of a story was it for him to play alongside his teammate, his roommate, his best friend, Nolan Naraki.
Well, it was an extremely cool moment, and two guys that played together in summer ball last year, played together at Clemson, both entered the transfer portal. And, well, funny enough, they're both going to play together next year at South Carolina, and it was just so cool to see the relationship of those two guys. And we talked about it so much this summer of players coming together from the same team. How was all the chemistry, and how does that affect players playing from the same team and all meshing together? And, well, Nathan Hall, Nolan Naraki both got off to excellent starts. And I think the coolest thing about Nathan Hall, a guy who wasn't afraid of the big moments, shined day in, day out, and even in his final game as a Kettleer this summer, went 3 for 4 with 3 singles. And Nathan Hall, the Cotuit only had 8 hits today. Nathan Hall had 3 of them, was always on base. And another cool moment about him was that in his first game, he always did something big. The first scrimmage, he had a home run against Martha's Vineyard. His first regular season game, he had a home run
against Harwich that day.
Taking the words right out of my mouth. And then, well, in his first playoff game, took Jacob Faulkner deep into left field. And just such a cool story for Nathan Hall, who, it's tough. Being left off your postseason roster can't feel good for any guy, even Nolan Naraki, who was left off that team. And it's just, to come here, to come battle day in, day out. And Mike Roberts said he owes a lot to Nathan Hall. Was one of the first people here at Lowell Park, and they worked together a lot. Talked about that cheek swing that he used against Jacob Faulkner to crack that 3-run bomb in the first game of the playoffs. And it's just there's so many stories from these guys, and Mike Roberts getting so close to all these players, and I feel like we keep repeating ourselves. It's just such a tough way to end the season, and Nathan Hall did it in style. He ended the month of August going 5 for 9 with an RBI, also hit a triple and 3 for 4 today, and sure, he's going to look back on this summer and say it's one of the best summers of his life, playing across some of his best friends and playing meaningful baseball deep into August. But now it's a time for all these guys to go home, be with their families, relax, and just before you know it, they're going to be back at school.
That's right, and more on Nolan Naraki there as a guy who likely one of my favorite stories from the summer is somebody who, and Mike Roberts talked about this so much, saying how, and it was in Adele's last hit, and he was talking about how these are guys who aren't playing for the Village. They're not playing for Cotuit. They're not playing for their college teams. They're not playing for their families or anybody else. They're really playing for themselves. They're trying to get better as baseball players. They're trying to polish their skills each and every day, and that's something that Mike Roberts harped on every single day. It's even written on the back of the dugout to polish your skills. And Nolan Naraki is a guy who, at times during the season, we were sitting here before games, during practice, he would take 4 extra batting cage laps around the order just to work on his bunting with Mike Roberts. He would also take dry reps at third base where Jimmy Middleton, one of the field workers, was around the park in the morning. There was nobody else to catch at first base for Nolan Naraki, who wanted to get some reps in, and Jimmy said, hey, I'll help you out. And those two worked together back and forth. He was taking reps at third base. He was getting extra looks in batting practice, and there are just so many guys on this team with stories like that who want to get better, who want to improve, and who are likely going to go on to have incredible baseball careers, a lot of success in their future. Guys like Devin Taylor, guys like Tanner Thatch, who maybe didn't have to be here at the end of the summer, and maybe they were working through some injuries and some things at the end of the year that were lingering that maybe they really wanted to go home, but they decided to stay here. They decided to get better, and that just shows you the spirit of this team. It shows you what it means to be a Kettleer, especially in this summer, and there are just so many guys on this roster. I know there was a revolving door at the pitching position, but all of those guys who were taken at the start of the summer, who were returners, but making their way here for another summer, wanting to get more opportunities, wanting to improve their draft stock and improve, and it's just a place where these guys are taking advantage of every single moment that they have. And while it's unfortunate that they're unable to play 2, maybe 3 more games, it's a season that you have to look back on and be appreciative of, because this is an opportunity for a lot of these players that they might not ever get again in their in their college baseball careers. And while you said they're going to go home, they're going to go spend some meaningful time with their families, they're going to make their way to their respective schools this upcoming season. But one thing is true, that these guys were battling to the end. They did what they love, which is playing the game of baseball. They showed up every single day with a smile on their face. And I think one of my favorite quotes from this entire summer was Cam Schulke back in July when he got selected by the Cleveland Guardians late in the draft. He said this is the tightest knit group that he's ever been a part of in 3 summers here, and that just shows you what this team meant to him. It shows you the way that he left it. He left it in a much better place than he found it, and I like to think that all of these guys did the same this summer, and it was a brand new coaching staff. Mike Roberts having to battle through that adversity to kind of have to build some chemistry there. It's a brand new team with a lot of returners, but a lot of those guys left, so there was so much adversity that this team was working through throughout the season that it's unfortunate that it comes to a close today, but it was just a great year all in all.
Well, Joe, I'm glad you brought up that quote about Cam Schulke, and you can see it right on the camera right there. Cotuit has been huddled out in the outfield for so long, and pretty much the entire Bourne coaching staff, all the Bourne players have exited the field at Lowell Park, and this huddle doesn't seem to be breaking for too much longer. It looks to be continue to carry on.
Yep.
Wow, words are hard. I mean, there's been a lot of games this summer.
Season.
That it has, but I'm glad you brought up the quote about Cam Schulke, just saying how tight-knit this group is, and you can see that right now. They're talking things over for a while, and that just shows you how special this place is to all these guys. They showed up every day with a smile on their face, wanting to play, wanting to win for themselves, but also wanting to win for this team and for these fans who continue to show out game in, game out. And today was an electric atmosphere. The standing ovation that they gave to Tanner Thatch is one of the coolest moments that we've seen all year long. And it also just shows you about the culture that Mike Roberts built. And it's not for the name on the back of the jerseys because, well, there are no names on the back of the jerseys. It's for the name on the front of the jersey, and they all play for Cotuit. They played hard. They battled day in and day out, and it was a successful season for the Kettleers.
It really was. I mean, when you take a look back, they were slotted to take the #1 spot in the West Division. Unfortunately for them, falling out of that spot in the 2 seed, but they took down Wareham to advance to the West Division Championship for the first time since 2019. And you mentioned it, Mike Roberts is having a long conversation with all of his guys just beyond the third base bag, as he does after almost every game. But this is definitely a bit of a different conversation than he's had in past games, not just after any loss, but after the season has ended. And he's likely in there just talking about the bright futures that these guys have had. Thank yous for them to serve this team well throughout this entire summer, and best wishes moving forward. But I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here on the Ketts Digital Network as Adele Huffman is waiting at field level. She's been waiting for a while as Mike Roberts continues to talk to his team. But we'll be back here on the Kettleers Digital Network with a post-game between Adele Huffman and Mike Roberts. So don't go anywhere as the Kettleers just lost to the Bourne Braves, but we're not done here from Lowell Park tonight.
Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-71.
Basic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. said it were in the past 25 minutes. Oh, yeah. That was a while. I know. What is going on? Yeah, he's starting on Genesis 1-1.
There's a lot of
So tell him to move. Yeah. Hey, Jaron. This is the Stephon thing. I thought Siegel was going to stand there like this. That's his Stephon Diggs moment.
Well, we welcome you back, and as Adele Huffman continues to wait on Mike Roberts, he is just giving some time with each and every player, truly showing the type of guy that he is. He cares for every single player who comes through here with Cotuit and spending a special moment with each and every guy. But, Alex, it's been a great summer, and, yeah, there's not much more I have to say, but just to say that there's nobody else I would have rather gone through these 42 games with, 2 preseason games and also 4 postseason games. Just what a ride it's been.
That it has, and the feeling's mutual here. You've been an awesome broadcast partner, one of the best broadcasters, actually the best broadcaster that I've ever worked with, and it's been a lot of fun moments broadcasting Cotuit games, and being here in Cotuit and being on Cape Cod's definitely been a dream of mine, and I couldn't have imagined it with a better broadcaster, but what the best part is, a way better person than broadcaster, and so glad that I could have met you, and it's been a great season, and just tough that it ends one game short of reaching a championship, but all the memories that Cotuit made on the field made the same memories up here in the broadcast booth.
It's crazy to think that, now 9 months ago now, we were talking to each other thinking, is this going to be the right fit? Is this going to be a fun year? Is this the way that it's going to go? And it's amazing to think that we're sitting here again in August, or for me again in August, for you in August, but also being in the Valley League last summer and having your summer cut short in a championship as well. So experiencing similar things, but boy, what a summer it's been. It's been great to learn from you. It's been great to learn from everybody around the village, especially the past few summers for myself, but just a special thank you to everybody who works for this team.
That, and even kind of fitting too. Summer got cut short last summer in the Valley League, but the broadcaster with me is still, I think, actually at the field. Nathan Schwartz is a broadcaster for Bourne, and if I know we talked about it last summer of just saying both of our dreams were to end up here on Cape Cod, and for one of my best friends and another extremely talented broadcaster, I'm so happy that he's living out his dream and I'm doing the same here in Cotuit, and super happy that Bourne's going on to the championship. If it couldn't be Cotuit, I'm glad that Nate's experiencing all the highs, but it's super fun summer. Couldn't imagine a better summer being on Cape Cod, working with you, working here in the village, and experiencing the fans. Our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, it's been excellent to work with her. Our production crew of Cam Christie, Jimmy Shantulis, you guys made our lives so much easier day in, day out. It really helps us just focus on broadcasting a baseball game. It's hard enough, and we've struggled with that a little bit over the summer, at least speaking for myself. Words are hard sometimes, Joe.
It's
you
tough.
Always got to remember that.
You can't throw a perfect game every night.
Exactly, but Jimmy and Cam, you guys made our lives so much easier, and everyone here in Cotuit, it's been a blast, and super sorry that the season had to be cut short. But definitely stinks.
Yeah, it stinks, but it was a great season, and while all these guys surely share a similar feeling that it stinks, but, a day's going to go by, sun's still going to rise tomorrow, we're going to be feeling great, and it's not about being sad that it's over. We just got to appreciate that it happened, and that's really the way that it's been for us this entire season, and I hope that we have been a joy to listen to at times. I hope that we have brought you Kettleers baseball in about as good a way as we could do with our abilities, but of course, as you mentioned it, Cam Christie, Jimmy Chantulis, those guys manning the controls all summer long, doing a fantastic job. Adele Huffman, a big thank you to her, who was stepping a bit outside of her comfort zone this summer. She was more of a MC the past 2 summers in the Coastal Plains League, doing a fantastic job doing karaoke before games. We didn't get as much of that up here this summer, but she did a fantastic job. But also just a special thank you to everybody who makes things work here in the village. It's not just the interns who work incredibly hard, who they really do all the game day, all the media interns who control everything that you see on social media, everything that happens at the game. There's also a group of people, the Cotuit Athletic Association board members, host families, who put in timeless hours, timeless work to make this team run, make this franchise a well-oiled machine, and that's exactly what it has been in my 3 years here, and I just couldn't extend a bigger thank you to everybody who has, 1, given us an opportunity, but 2, worked so hard in the off-season, the 9 months that we're not up here in the summer. They are working incredibly hard, and obviously we have to give a big thank you to the president of the Cotuit Athletic Association, Fran Maycock, his first year as the president after Terry Moran passed the torch to him, and he just did a fantastic job. Bruce Murphy, of course, the GM for the Kettleers, another great season working with him. Leah Ridpath giving us this opportunity alongside Scott Hill. They manage the interns, do the hiring processes, and without them, none of us would be here. Without them, none of this would be possible. And just a big thank you to them, a big thank you to everybody who makes Cotuit what it is. And the Kettleers will surely be looking for that 18th championship banner in 2025, but that's going to do it for us. And a special thank you to all of the listeners throughout this entire summer, the 2024 campaign. Although we wish it could have ended in a championship, we're not sad that it ended here because it was just a great summer, a great 77th year of Cotuit baseball. But that's going to do it for us up here in the booth. From our broadcast partner, Alex Rocco, for our production crew of Jimmy Chantulis and Cam Christie, and of course our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, I have been Joe Pratt. We appreciate you all for tuning in throughout this summer, and we'll talk